Hi, Ann.
Hi, Bri. Great to see you.
It's been a while.
Cute hat.
Oh, thank you. I'm just I kind of having bedhead, so I just threw the hat on. How
Right
goes
on.
it? It's been a
It's
while.
it's been so long. It's been such a long time. Did you see my Instagram little video where I used that song for play a long time for us?
Wait, no, I didn't see it. It said, tell me again. Wait, was it? I didn't quite totally catch that. Mention it one more time.
It's a Instagram story where I use the foreplay long time for us and our podcast, a little advert.
What's the long time for us? What's that from? I'm not catching the reference.
Foreplay, long time. Is it
Oh,
Boston? I forget who it is.
okay.
Hold on. Yeah, it's
Uh-oh.
Boston.
I'm showing my colors here. Yeah, Boston. It's kind of like, little blind spot for me. Boston, Chicago, some sort of like sweet
America.
70s. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm so happy to be with you.
I
And
know.
it's been a
Dear.
while,
It
right?
has.
Let's set this up. Okay, let's just set it up to get the conversation going. Welcome to season 2 of Icculus. We're just gonna call it Ridiculous. That's the nickname, but Ridiculous. If you don't know, if you don't know about Icculus, Andrea she only has one piece of advice for you.
Dude, read the book. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life?
You gotta read the book.
Read
That's what you have to do. And I want to introduce you. I keep saying Andrea. This is my homie. I don't know which way I'm going. This is my homie Andrea. And is it this way? I don't know.
I can never tell when we're live versus when it sort of goes up.
Okay, my friend Andrea from the old school Boulder days, from the 90s. Actually, we go all the way back to the 90s together. We are old. We are all old time homies.
Old enough.
I think we're even dokyusei, as we say in Japanese. We're old classmates, not exactly, but we have the same alma mater, right? Like we kind of we went to see Boulder at different times ish. Something
we might have overlapped samesies times.
Okay, yeah, I think we were there at the same time, but we were both sort of having an unconventional student experience, and but our kind of music and lives, ongoing lives overlapped in many places. And we've been even though despite moving away from Boulder some 20 years ago, Ann and I have always stayed in touch, and we have stayed in touch through our shared love of the band Phish. And we're celebrating episode 11, season 2, technically episode 1. We've already had 10 sessions of getting together. And Ann, why don't you explain what we're doing here? What's the MO of the whole Ridiculous podcast?
Well, our bent is reading things on Phish. We began with, what was it? The New Yorker article on what was it celebrating? 40 some odd years of Phish, something like that.
And the rock and roll nomination.
That's what it was.
Snub. Yeah.
Yes. It hit all the boxes. It checked all the points, and it was quite a lot of words, 40,000 words. And Brian and I dug in. We are both readers, and here we are to read to you, and of course, to fall off our reading wagon into digressions, because we've got a lot to say. We're sort of wild, creative thinkers. Our synapses are slowly coming undone. So we just sort of follow them where they go. We live in the along on this podcast.
Oh, I still love that.
Remember that?
Live in the along. Yes, that's very, very nice. So we wrapped up essentially where we left off last. So we kind of meandered all over the place. We're still getting our bearings. And this is a little bit of an impromptu. I just messaged Andrea this morning and said, hey, and she said, I'll be ready in 2 hours. I said, whoa, okay.
Well, we did talk last week about a Saturday night play.
No. Don't let me
I
throw you under the bus.
Listen, you throw me anywhere you want, Bri. I'll travel with you. Yeah, we go where the wind blows us, and tonight it has blown us to Tokyo Record Style YouTube channel.
Cheers!
Where young Brian has such a wonderful following, makes such great content, and I just get to pop in. You do. You're very engaging. You're a wonderful podcaster. You go out on the streets, you meet people, you're fearless, you take adventures. I mean, I feel like you got some real heat, Bri.
Well, that's so nice of you to say, and coming from you, it means a lot to me. But I was, I've been hearing like people saying like, "Wow, don't have the gumption to like go out and just like talk to people on the street or just like put myself out there in the way that you do." But I think this is something that you and I maybe share, and maybe why we had a little bit of magnetism between us, because like I don't see it as like a challenge. I don't see that adventure as like intimidating. It's always like an opportunity. And I don't mean to just kind of sound, espouse platitudes of, outgoingness. But
You're
like
phrasing, darling, on point. Yeah.
espousing, but I do, like, it's my safe spot. It's my in the zone. It's in my flow state when I can get on the street and be like, hey, what you doing? What do you got going?
Yep.
Hey, you, let's come on, mix it up with me. What you got? You know who's a pro at that?
Tell
Our
me.
mutual friend, Bill Kelly, aka the poem guy.
He is.
I got a lot of inspiration from him. What a character.
Now that I think about, no, it wasn't today. So kind of, example of digression. You say Bill Keys. I think the last time I saw Bill Keys, which was at a Phish show at Madison Square Garden. And while today is Jerry's death anniversary, if you go back through the days between, I would have seen Bill 2 years ago on Jerry's birthday, August 1st. And that's the last time I saw our friend Bill, who is a wonderful poet and man about town. He's a gad. He's gadabout
surfer for sure. And he essentially sets up his tripod on the streets of New York City, and he writes poems for passerbyers. And he's a totally inspired dude. And he's a kind of a chaotic, frenetic, almost unmanageable personality.
Wild artist poet, yes.
But he's so fun, and he's such a goof, and like he just appears out of nowhere, and he's just got, and I don't know, we took to each other in a big way, and like, yeah, he was always part of the old circle of pals. But yeah, no. So I don't know where we're going today, but that's the fun of it. And I think that's like one of the things that we love about Phish. In fact, I just saw a little reel today that got shared that Trey and lead songwriter, leader of our band Phish, well, co-leader, I'll say, like he and Mike Gordon, bass player, who we're going to go off on today, are on some panel being interviewed, and they're asking Trey about like, do you really go out there and throw caution completely to the wind? Don't you actually kind of like have a little bit of a powwow before you guys go out and talk about what songs you're going to play? And he's like, no, especially not the first song. And maybe that's changed because this interview was from like 97 or something, but Mike is there to corroborate it. And unless they're in like cahoots and, partners in crime,
which of course they are.
They are.
Yes.
But it seemed very much like they were telling the truth, that it was like, no, it's not about giving you, it's all about the risk, and it's all about letting he talks about like the conversation that goes from backstage just on stage, and the music is just a continuation of that conversation. So I welcome it. I welcome us swinging big and missing today. I don't know what's going to happen. I welcome it.
Strong and wrong. I have heard that potentially the plan thing, we don't have a plan. We go out there, feel into the fabric of the universe, and play what plays us. Is sort of the topic of our piece today. But I do think things have changed slightly, maybe since the Sphere, and I feel like there is a little bit more mindful set listing, even if there's not a conversation about it. Trey and his big sticky paper sort of gives me vibes like when I'm in the classroom and I've got all my sticky papers up and, kind of go through all the ideation. So who knows what's going through Trey's mind
Yeah. Mind.
these days.
Well, we've got things to riff on. We've got things to talk about. This is officially season 2. And speaking of like having a plan, we have to get a plan together. We have to get a regular time, and we need to figure that out. And we haven't figured it out yet, but we'll get there. We're working towards it. We didn't mention, but Andrea so lovingly said that I'm a bookworm. I'm really not. I'm just a pretend bookworm.
No, I said you're a reader. That doesn't mean you're a bookworm.
Okay,
I'm not much of a bookworm either, but to read a thing doesn't mean you're like
okay,
deep in the book.
fair.
Personally, for me, and I feel like you might be like this, I'm more of a chronic rereader. The stuff that I love, I am just such a nerd for continuing to return to it and dig under the surface of the thing, much like my 53 Harry Hoods at this point. I'll take 28 more. I'll take 100 more. I will re-listen. I will reread. I will rewrite. I'm here for it. So
well, I already read half of this article that we might eventually get to today if we don't just
we're gonna get to it.
But one of the things that Mike, it's an article about Mike Gordon, and it's about getting in the zone essentially. And one of the things that he mentioned that I don't think the article mentions, I didn't read the whole thing yet, but he mentioned on like some tours ago, he's the bass player, right? And the bass player, not to say that, how can you describe Mike as a bass player? I mean,
Mike as a bass player is low end sonic feel that is meandering and punctuating melody and is often creating new spaces to explore. I think his interplay with John Fishman, of course, is always so interesting. He's a big listener. I think he's incredibly patient, and I think his nuance of what he wants to hear and feel is incredibly high.
I put you on the spot for that, and that was a damn good answer, and well done. I don't think I would have been able to articulate that. I tend to
I'm
think
sure there's more poetic ways to say
no, but just to like on the
is,
fly,
but
I'm impressed. But I would say like he takes after Phil Lesh in that he's not there necessarily to be the or part of the rhythm section. He's a melodic bass player, and it's counterpoint, and it's dancing around, and it's seldom I don't want to say grooveless, but it's seldom like repetitive. Kind of. That's kind of what I want to say. Like in a bass way, in the vernacular of bass players that we might just generally know. He's a very imaginative and colorful bass player, and it's not about staying really in the pocket so much as it is, I don't know, dancing all over it. It's a little bit hard to put into words, but he did say in a tour, one of his tour or post tour sort of reflections, he said something about getting in the groove. He talked about like actually playing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And he talked about like reaching a state of, a meditative state by just playing the same boom, 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 boom. And after you hear it so many times, it starts to like lose its form and become an abstraction of itself. And next thing you know, you've kind of forgotten everything, and you're in this state of complete detachment. And I come to this state all the time. And in fact, I was just there. Like I was going to ask you, like, when do you get into these kinds of states? And like, maybe you won't be able to pull something out immediately. I bet you actually can. But one that I was in the other day, like just a month ago, I went up to the mountains with my kid, and we went up to a friend of mine's, like kind of, they have a little tiny house, and like a second home up in the hills, and they've got all these like sitars and lutes and like, you know, tablas and all these kind of crazy instruments from around the world. And they had those prayer bowls, you know,
Oh,
and
yes,
everybody was
yes.
trying to get like, it's not as easy to get the once you get it going, it goes. But it's like, how do you like it?
There's
It's
a
like
feel there. Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
feel
yeah.
there,
And
right?
there's kind of this like tension. There's almost like vibrations pushing off the little dealy
Yeah,
bob,
yeah,
right?
and
Yeah,
it's like you got to it like takes concentration to get it going, but once it's going, it's like everybody's in tune to it, you know? It's
yeah,
like you
yeah.
cannot ignore it. It's the most powerful thing. And it's just a droning frequency that's just going around and around and around. When was the last I think, like I said, we're going to talk about, we're going to go into this about Mike's state of flow and like a state of like losing oneself in a kind of I don't know what it is exactly, but I want to talk about tour real quick. I'm kind of like jumping the gun.
Well, okay, hold on, because I've been thinking about the answer to your question, which
Oh,
is
sorry, I didn't let
both.
you answer.
No,
I was
you're
that
good,
was a
man.
segue to allow you. I know when the last time you probably had it was, and that's
Oh,
kind of
tell me, what was it?
well, I can imagine you were if it wasn't Folsom Field, then it was Forest Hills, and you were up there, and it was like halfway to the moon, or it was some simple jam or Piper, and you were like, "Is this still Hood?" Or is I imagine it was one of these things because I haven't talked to you since kind of mid tour, since Phish went to Colorado, and you were like, "All right, dude."
Gotta
Like
go.
ridiculous is
Bye.
over.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
see you in
I didn't
4 weeks
say it was
time.
over. Come on now. I'm not the
No, no,
bad
no, no. But
guy
just like
here.
I'm ejecting for a while and we'll come back. And
Yes,
now here we're
yes.
back. And so I'm figured you must have hit 3 or 4 of those states of
There,
losing.
well, yes, Phish is definitely, I think it's in many ways why I enjoy going to the live show is to be in the unfolding flow state. So certainly Phish, but I went on a camping trip recently and being out on the boat, we did a little boat surfing. There is a flow state in that, just watching the wave build in the water and trying to feel like my body balance on the board, cut the wave. Yeah,
Oh,
so
not on the
there's
river,
that.
on the wakeboard.
Yeah, yeah, this is out at Green Mountain. But I will say
Nice.
also a big flow state for me, and this is like strange, but it's part of why I really enjoy my job. When I am planning and working in terms of, I'm a high school teacher. And so I'm like, what's the flow going to be like? What are we going to read? What are we going to write? Da da da. I like geek out in a really big way into my flow state when I am planning, which is strange but lovely because I'm always thinking about a lot of things and then I'm like getting excited. I follow that enthusiasm maybe to a text, a new idea. I've been sort of chatting with this AI teacher program to help me do some thinking and prompting it, seeing what it comes up with. I don't know, like I get a lot of flow in my work, especially just like riffing with 30 kids all day long. Though after the summer and being off, it was nice to not have to feel that. But I am back to school. Kids start Thursday, and I've already sort of been in the workflow, and I can't do it at school. I do not flow at school. I flow at home. I gotta have my feet up. There's a couple, sort of anchor points for my experience, but I do really love that, and that's probably a big one. But yeah, Phish for sure. First night at Forest Hills, I was watching my body as it was sort of moving and dancing, watching my hands. And boy, I got lost in there a long, long time. I was like, wow, I'm this like person with the body, and it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So that was sort of fun psychedelia.
Well, let's back it up. Even I don't have the tour in front of me, but let's just we can try. We can try to have like a little recap. Okay, and we won't go through them show by show because it doesn't make sense. They kind of come into my head. I experience them, and then they
Off they
leave,
go.
so another one can come in,
Yeah, yeah.
and I kind of like I
It's
have to
hard
go.
to hold all the details.
That's impossibly hard. But I did see, you get you get little pieces of shows that came, get you reminders. This was the Silent Jam. You ever heard of the Silent Jam, Ann?
Oh, I saw that video today before you sent it to me. So funny. Is it 95 or it's 91?
Yeah, 95.
So I think that's kind of interesting because that tour was fall. It was December. Phish had played in Hartford on November 2nd. There's an epic, very famous tweezer amongst other fun things that happened that night. Then Phish came to my, do you call it an alma mater if you didn't graduate? I went to UMass Amherst and they came there and played 2 nights. And then very shortly after, they played that Silent Jam on that same tour. That was the chess tour. They were in the Northeast doing all the college campuses. And
I saw them in Kansas City and St. Louis that year.
95. Yeah,
and
that
Red
was
Rocks as well. Yeah.
That was fun.
Play some chess.
Yeah. Speaking of the Silent Jam, there was this moment at Forest Hills in the Divided Sky where Trey looks right and he looks left and he looks right. And the crowd's going,
that I saw that moment. Yeah. That was funny.
And that was really, really cool. Very special. Very special.
Well, hold on. Let's go. Let's start. Sky. That was at Forest Hills. You were there. The sun was in his face.
Well, the one before, he biffed it when I was there. Remember, he biffed the entrance in Texas? And we talked about it on our last podcast.
I don't even remember. Jesus Christ. Okay, they all go by so fast. Okay, so it was... Where did it start? It started in Manchester, New Hampshire, and they played 3 nights. Then it went to Pittsburgh. I think I remember Pittsburgh being a great show. I missed all of the New Hampshire shows. I was like busy, and I haven't gone back and rewatched them, and I probably won't. Then the Moody Center 2 nights in Austin. You were there for those.
I was.
And we've talked about those. And bless your heart, tour. You sent me some stickers. Hold on a second.
I actually have more to send you, Bri. I made a series for Mexico, and they're really, really great. They're all black
Here's
and
one
white.
You sent me.
I'm gonna send you some more.
Here's Clear Your Mind. Here is that Fee?
Yeah,
Fee carrying the Mexican flag.
I love that's probably
I think I have
favorite.
A few more somewhere else.
I think I gave you a wah 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 wah.
You gave me a bunch of great ones, but there was a couple great. A possum riding a cow from the Moody Center. And,
yeah. Steer.
It's really fun. So thank you.
Steer. You're welcome.
Steer. Then from Texas, they went to Fulsome Field. I had never seen a show I never even stepped foot inside Fulsome Field. We talked about it.
I thought you said you graduated there.
I did, but I never once ever stepped foot inside that stadium. I never saw a football game. No, I graduated in the summer, and it was like a little ceremony. It was like in Glenn Miller Ballroom or something like that. It wasn't like
where Phish also played, I believe.
I think so, yeah. And actually, my cousin was in the Glenn Miller big band. He played.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, he just played on stage with guess who? The Boss.
No.
Yes.
Your cousin?
Yes, my first cousin, my fucking cousin, who's got an incredible band, King Cabbage Brass Band in Tulsa, Oklahoma, keeping the second line. Help me out, Ann. The New Orleans,
second line.
Second line spirit alive in Tulsa, and he's like brought it to Tulsa. I mean, he really imported it there. And
did he live in New Orleans or something?
Yeah, he taught music in New Orleans for like 10 years, and then moved back home. And now he's a music teacher, and he's a high school music teacher. And he's got this band called King Cabbage Brass Band, and he was freaking on stage with the Boss for like 3 nights in a row, dude. And he told me a little story, or he posted a story about like he could hear in his monitor. He plays trumpet. He plays everything. He plays the sousaphone, I think, is in that band, but he also plays a trombone and the trumpet. And I think trumpet might have been his first one, but I think I don't know. But he was playing trombone at the Boss show, and he heard in his in-ear monitor. Bruce say, I need more trombone in my ear, in my monitor.
No, really? Wow.
And like smiled at him and like winked at him.
Oh my gosh. You want to just record that and play that on repeat through your whole mental loop.
I was very, very happy for him.
That's awesome.
So and it was at some giant stadium. I don't know where it was, but he was very cool to see him on stage. And but anyway, I never set foot in Folsom Field. But yeah, and so you saw three.
Oh, it
Was it
was
2 nights? It was 3 nights. That was so much fun. We haven't talked
It
since then,
was
maybe,
3
right?
nights. Yeah, I think we talked after Folsom.
Oh, we did. Okay.
And then I went on a big East Coast vacation, saw some friends and family. I went on a cruise with my mom and my brother and my children and my brother's wife and my mom's partner. And then I got back to New York and we talked.
Wait. Don't just get back to New York so quickly. I want to
Well,
talk
and
about.
then I went to the Phish show. Zuh.
Yeah, but that is New York.
I know, but I was there. So I'm from New York. So I did family and friends stuff before I went to Phish. There was kind of like 2 weeks in there before I went to Phish.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, not to rush too fast through it.
Whenever you go to New York, I have this image of you going to New York every summer because you always do.
I do.
And whether it's sort of like the winter break or the summer break, you're like, again, I'm going to New York. Nobody's stopping me. I need my time in New York.
I do.
And you're either at like MSG or you're at SPAC or you're at something. And it's like, I kind of imagine you, well, you're from like, you're from Westchester, you're from like you're from up there, and I've been around there, and so I imagine
I'm from Westchester, Yorktown Heights, New York.
So I imagine I have these images of these kids and
the private school kids.
Well, some of them are from Long Island, some of them are from Westchester, and what do we call that? It's not
upstate. I mean, upstate is really like Albany and North, but
right, exactly.
People from Manhattan say upstate for Westchester, but Westchester
like
people
is
upstate is like Albany and beyond. But it depends where you are. If you're,
sorry,
Hudson Valley, so up the Hudson River runs through New York, and then if you keep going, you get to Peekskill on the Hudson, which is where my mom lives. And then, a little bit, I guess, east of that is where I grew up.
So if you take a train, if any of you have been so fortunate to like take a train out of New York City and head north,
north.
You go up the Hudson River, and there are these beautiful cliffs all along and beautiful forests, and then you come into these
That's
like
the Palisades, is those cliffs,
right?
Yeah.
What's the castle? The close? Is that way?
Cloisters.
Is that way? Cloisters, right?
But that's
somewhere different. Okay,
it's in New York City. It's like maybe very north in Manhattan, like in Harlem or something like that, I think, or the Bronx. I can't remember.
So I see, probably like some romanticized image of like, it probably was just like the Beastie Boys, or it was like some hip hop or just some New York subway thing where you watch, people getting around to the suburbs, to the way out in the boroughs on the trains. And I always picture you guys, even though you're in like neighborhoody, provincial sort of villages and townships. I just imagine you guys all on the train and all on the platform, and you're all coming and more people getting on the train. And I have the whole movie inside my head. It's all there.
The movie actually played out kind of like you're saying in your imagination when we went from Brooklyn and took the subway to Queens, which was a whole adventure. We had to get off and get on another one, and met up with some friends on the train, and a whole hoopla, and you're having your little beverage service, and
that's where the Forest Hills was in Queens.
Forest Hills is in Queens. So I was staying in Brooklyn with my friend Kate, and my girlfriend Tessa, who would play in the band with, she came out, and we trained to Queens. And then, oh my God, her angel of a husband came and picked us up in the little car, sober as they go, and he drove us safely home with like beverage service and trippy lights in the back seat, jamming so hard to Fleetwood Mac.
Good.
Just crying in the back seat of the car. It was really romantic.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like Queens to me sounds like, I don't think I've ever been to Queens. Queens to me sounds like industrial, to be honest. It sounds like Commerce City or something like that.
At one point it was industrial, but nowadays with the gentrification and everybody trying to find the next place to live that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, a lot of people moved out to Queens. Now, my cousin, Tommy Makuchi, he's from Queens. If you go all the way out to the end of Queens, that is where there's a very famous horse race out there called the Belmont Stakes. And in Belmont, Queens, my cousin lived, I don't know, 4 blocks from the raceway. So we would go out to Queens, which is or was much more, Italian neighborhood. You walk about, you got your Trans Am, your big hair, fluffy 80s glam rock.
Nice.
Meets like dirty industrial sort of Firebird and like, I don't know, Corvette culture out there. So very different these days, though. Forest Hills is beautiful little town, and I mostly saw like maybe 3 blocks of it. But there was a pool party at Forest Hills, and that was wild. You ever jump in a pool after a Phish show? Like
with
at
strangers?
I didn't jump in, but there were people in the pool going, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm like swimming after a Phish show. It's 10:20,
So wait, let me get this. Let me paint the picture, because we saw this stadium. Now, Forest Hills, the location is really spectacular. They've got this almost like Greek, half horseshoe Coliseum-ish kind of thing that looks kind of medium large, but not large.
14K built for tennis. So it's
built
tall,
for tennis, right?
And
okay.
the floor is small, and everybody would be looking down on the game. Yeah.
Okay.
So interesting.
Yeah, I should have a picture on the standby, but I think it was like it's like right in the middle of probably a really posh neighborhood, I'm guessing. Is that what's going on there? It's kind of like not necessarily in the middle, but it's surrounded by residential areas where if concerts go too late and too loud, the kids can't get to sleep or do their homework, and it's actually kind of maybe a little bit of a legit concern to have this.
It is a sort of NIMBY situation for concerts, and Phish, people are degenerates, and we could have shown up a lot better, but that was not the case. But what's so interesting is that the tennis club, while the concert is going on, people pay tens of thousands of dollars to be in this club. And it's one of these old school clubs where you still, you got to wear your tennis whites. So people are out there playing tennis while the concert's going on. They've done a lot of sound mitigation.
Oh, really?
But it is pretty wild. I think you can play tennis until like, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night, and the concerts end at 10. So you get out, you're walking out of the venue. People are still in their whites playing tennis.
Wow.
Muffy and Buffy are having a little cocktail at the bar, and people are in the pool, which is like this kind of backstage scene that we had some access to through friends. So
wow, look at you.
I know, that was funny. Actually, I ran into my friend Parag, who belongs to the club, when we were walking out, and we were going to meet Kate's husband. So I'm like, I love you, Parag. But he's kind of a wild child, but he lives in Queens and has club membership. He likes to get his tennis whites on.
Let's talk about the shows. But speaking of friends, we have some friends here in the gallery. Let's
Grateful Dog.
Grateful Dog's in the house. What's up? Hello, friends. Hold on. He says, I'll never forget 93 New Year's. Where was that? Where was that?
Biggest snowstorm in years. Ooh.
I'm sure it was the hold on, let me see if I can get it.
You want me to get it?
No, I know, and it's got to be Boston. It's got to be this. It's the something.
Phish 93.
It's got to be. I want to say like this.
We've got Boston, Massachusetts, and Northeastern University 92 into 93. If that's what he is.
I don't think it's that year. It's the
okay. So we're looking 93,
at 94, but it could be. Grateful Dogs, clarify, please. But the front, no. What was it? What was the? I don't know what it is. It wasn't the Garden. Where'd they play in 93?
Boston Garden was 94. Oh, you're Worcester Centrum.
Centrum, that's the one I was thinking of. Was that 93?
Worcester. Yeah. 93.
Worcester.
Yeah. A hockey arena with a capacity of 14,000 and change.
Ninja Cat Matt in the house. Really? What are you really? Andrea being from New York, the tennis club, the rights. Or
Maybe
is this
just
that this is
us.
just really happening?
We're
Okay.
really back. What up,
Love y'all.
Matt?
We love you too, Ninja Cat Matt. Thanks for being here. Wista
Wista.
was Fish
The Fish
Bowl.
Bowl.
Oh, that's right. Okay, cool.
Mm.
I think maybe, let's see, 93. Yeah, I rock.
Tickets were $22.50.
Racer Records.
Racer Records. New to me.
No, I know Racer Records.
Speed
That's
Racer.
that's our homies in I think that's our homies in like Manitoba or something. I think I have that's some that
you have the best followers. So such a like geographically diverse.
I love this
nerds.
little crew. I really actually do love all these. I love all this crew.
It's, if I can find it, I don't know where I would find it, but I have a picture of my cousin Tommy Makuchi with the big fluffy hair. He had like death metal velvet blacklight posters all over his room. And his mother, Gloria Makuchi, she's this big lady, put the napkin, in her like over her chest with these enormous bazungis. And then her husband was like skinny as they come. She was like round like an orange, and he was like this long, skinny man.
Funny. Yeah.
Also, Tommy.
Tommy and Gloria.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, yes.
Grateful Doug says he got in 2 of the 4 shows this summer, or the summer of 90, or the 93 tour.
Maybe he's talking 93 tour.
Dosed Giz last night. Okay, well done.
With the that's right, because Ninja Cat Mad, he's a Denver guy. Giz just played, I think, up in
okay.
Where did they play? Dillon Amphitheater, maybe, with the symphony. Have you gotten into King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Brian? Yes, is that a yes?
Yes,
okay.
I have. Yes, I have. It's on my list to do. Okay, Saskatchewan.
There's one.
Yeah, go for it. I need some help. I'm lost. I'm helplessly lost. I'm like,
you got Canada.
It's crippling. It's no. I mean, I'm talking about with King Gizzard. I'm like, it's like a crippling blind spot. I'm like, you don't know anything about King Gizzard.
I only know one album, and it's so good. And they just left Spotify, so I'm like, oh shit, I gotta like do my own research now.
Yeah.
But Eyes Like the Sky is such a cuckoo, crazy, beautiful album. Oh my god, dark.
I gotta go there. I just haven't been.
Dark in the daytime. Yeah, I want to go there too.
Saskatchewan is that's cool. I saw them at the
I'm really excited.
Cain's Ballroom.
Woohoo! MJ.
Okay.
93
with CSO Ford Center in Springs.
Colorado Springs. That's right. Okay.
So CSO is Colorado Springs. That's the Colorado lingo. CSO is at the airport. I don't even know actually.
Is there even an airport there still? Remember when that was the only airport in Colorado in the 90s? So you could really, it was like before DIA.
No. There was Stapleton in Denver for many, many, many years.
Well, I remember Joe, the first time I came to Colorado, drove from Fort Collins to Colorado Springs to pick me up. And there was a terrible snowstorm. And he had that rickety K car, a nice Reliant automobile.
Okay.
Do you remember the Reliant K?
Dark blue?
Maybe dark blue. It was just a junker. God damn, we almost died like 80.
You guys lived in Fort Collins. I forgot about it.
When we first moved here. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and we moved to Boulder.
Why'd you go to Fort Collins? That's so weird.
That's just where Joe was. He had gone up there. He had been in Boulder, and then he and do you remember Quentin?
Yes.
Quentin Young.
Yes.
Who is now a writer. He's a newspaper man in Denver. I think he writes for what is it? Denver Post, maybe something like that. I don't know. He's a rock writer. He writes other things. But Quentin was living up there. He was this ripping guitar player. Joe wanted to be where there was music people, and they bought a drum set and
Quentin,
set it up in the basement.
Cool.
Yeah,
Joe.
That's where I learned how to play drums, I guess.
Bare Naked.
That's right, Racer Records. That's right.
It's Regina is where he is, not
I'm here for all the deep cuts and references.
Nice job.
Canada, come on. yeah, they're a Canadian band.
Okay, well
they're
done.
from your land.
They're gonna help you party down.
Yeah.
Down. Let's see. Stapleton was just as busy as DIA, just smaller and closer.
Oh, I don't remember flying in there. I just remember it being like, oh god, we gotta sit in the car. Long.
Okay.
Long.
Well, all right. So Forrest, so let's keep going on this tour a little bit. I'll come back to these. Let's just go through the tour a little bit. So Folsom, Columbus, Ohio. I'm not sure I can remember much about Folsom, or excuse me, about Columbus. 3 nights in Charleston. Okay, there had to have been, those were hot shows. I remember, I think there was like a dud in there. I think like nights 2 and 3 were great, and I think people were complaining about night 1 maybe. And then it was at the Man, and they played 2 nights in Philly.
I think the Man crushed.
The Man crushed. Those were really, really hot shows. And I think one of them was like, oh god, are they ever gonna stop? Like, is this ever gonna stop? It was like, we got bullied, by just slaying guitar and just like endless jams. And it was like, I remember it was
very psychedelic. I think night 2 was the big banger.
I mean, we'll go through them. We'll look at them, but it's like too hard to remember them. Then it was 3 nights in Chicago at
first night, total dud.
Oh, you heard it from Ann here. She's calling.
I was listening to it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm glad I didn't buy the stream. I got like a free audio stream, and I was like, I don't know about this one." But then the next couple nights were I enjoyed more. And the last night, I was like, "Thank God they played this show," because I had friends there. I was like, "I feel bad for you guys for that Friday." No offense. I mean, it's like our podcast: win some, lose some, strong and wrong.
Sure.
It's like life.
But Chicago United Center, that's where the Bulls played, and a lot of like Bulls maniacs were really stoked to see there. And I think I have Chicago on. I think they played there. Wait, is that UIC? That's maybe a different show, but they put out a box.
Yeah, I think it is UIC.
Is that okay? So that's
the something pavilion.
Okay, yeah. Anyway. But it was like everybody was stoked to be in Chicago. That was a little bit lost.
I've got to get back to Chicago. Are they ever going to play that again? That was from the SciFi Soldier.
SciFi Soldier. Got to get back to Chicago. That's Miami.
No, it was the one with the fire. Whatever the fireballs were at the show. That was such a crazy show, dude.
So incredible. That was peak Phish.
To be in the room so close with like fucking like fireballs and like you could feel the heat. Oh my god!
Seriously, you can feel the heat.
I was really close. We were like pretty much right in front of Trey, watching him like kind of get embarrassed in his like spaceman suit and look sheepish. Oh, it's so joyous.
Can we give a little salute to SciFi Soldier? Let's just go off on SciFi Soldier. Anybody who's here who might not know what SciFi Soldier, just a little tiny.
I know you love it so much.
I fucking love SciFi Soldier. SciFi Soldier has, I think, been the best thing that they've ever done. In all of the crazy escapades that the band has been on, SciFi has been the one that has like, I don't know if they'll ever be able to top that. I always say that they'll never be able to top that year's thing, and they always do, but I have no clue how they're ever going to top SciFi Soldier.
I know you love it so much, and I loved it being there, and I love the studio album, like all the little snippets of the songs, but I will say there are Halloweens I have enjoyed more.
There are Halloweens that are easier on the ears, but that is kind of why I like SciFi Soldier, because it's a cacophony of music.
It is. That is true. That is true.
There's just so much power.
It is definitely cacophonous.
Yes.
I remember when it was happening, thinking to myself, it is so interesting to hear the first unfolding of new music from Phish, and wondering how is this going to develop even as it's unfolding in its first iteration. I remember being excited about having fresh ears and Phish being fresh playing it, and just it's cool to think about what songs have developed since then, having been in the moment of like the generative experience.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's like, ooh, because
Yeah.
a new album will come out, and you'll recognize 6 of the songs, or maybe even 8 of the songs on there, because they've been playing them for a year or 2 or longer, even sometimes. But sometimes there'll be like 6 tracks you've never heard, and you're like, what is this? And you get to it, and you're like, I don't know. Is it good? I'm not sure yet. And then you listen to it, and you're like, oh wait, it is good. And then you're like, oh wait, it's fucking really good. And then you're like, oh my god, this is like, and I just, as a side note, a little side note, I had a little ghost story of the ghost revisit recently with Michael, my homie from the Dog Log, Michael Warren, and he said, I'm not a giant Ghost fan. When they come out with Ghost is a vehicle, a huge vehicle for jam that Phish always just like, they can jam out Phish, they can jam out Story of the Ghost so hard, and it means like settle in, buckle up, because here we go. You know, that's the significance of that song. And I don't remember when the first Ghost was, but it was at least half a year, if not a whole year and a half, before the album The Story of the Ghost came out. But I was saying that like when The Story of the Ghost came out, it was like receiving a Phish bill at Halloween, where you didn't know what you were getting. You knew a new album was coming, but you didn't know necessarily what it was. And you waited at the record shop to like go get the latest album. And I remember thinking like,
I loved that album when it came out.
Right. And I was just saying, like, the fact that it's like they built the album around Ghost was really meaningful to me. I was like, they could have chosen Hood, or they could have chosen like Gaiuti, or they could have chosen Birds, or like, it could have been like a non, it could have, because I remember at the end of Ghost. What's at the end of Ghost? Piper is what? No, wait, that's Farmhouse. What's at the end of Ghost?
Da, 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 da. End of album,
end of session, yeah. And then it goes back, and then it goes back into, yeah, well, it's MoMA dance, and then it goes back into that bum 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 bum,
yeah.
And you're like, oh shit. And you've like, it's like one of those moments where you're like, you've forgotten that you're still in the jam, you've forgotten. You're like, oh yeah, this is that moment. We've been brought full circle. You're like, yes, I totally forgot. I lost myself in the flow of the album.
Yes.
And I think like Ghost is such a beautiful choice to have made, for that to be the song that carries that little chapter of Phish. I love Ghost for that reason. Even if it's not like, I do love the song. I mean, like, I'm a big Ghost fan, but like, I love it for that context, that it gives the whole sort of, bigger story.
Well, here's a bigger story. So Ghost debuts at Brad Sands and Carini's house. What's Carini's first name? Paul, Mike, John?
David? I'm not
David,
sure.
Bill. Sands and Carini's house, June 6, 1997. Then it debuts publicly at the SFX Center, 6/13/97, second time out of the gate at the Royal Albert Hall.
Wow.
6/16/97. That's fucking cool.
Wow.
And how could we say Royal Albert Hall without thinking about the Beatles, of course?
Sure.
And, potentially a segue, maybe not the best one, because I know you're going somewhere. They did play I Am the Walrus at Forest Hills, where the Beatles had played 2 nights in 1964.
Get the fuck out. The Beatles played Forest Hills?
2 nights.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Hallowed ground.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What must it have been like to see the Beatles at Forest Hills? Holy cow. Amazing.
I heard this fan story on another podcast. This guy had called into HF Pod and had said that his dad took him to see the Beatles at Forest Hills. He was from Queens, and he was so excited to go back to Forest Hills. He was going to go by himself. His brother was like, I want to go with you. He's like, nah, man, I got to like get my own memory. And he went back to see the Phish shows. I don't know if he'd been back to Forest Hills since his dad took him to see the Beatles in the 60s, obviously an older guy, but he was just a little kid, and he was talking about how excited he was to be able to go back and check him out, or go back and see Phish, and then imagining him getting his head blown off, cuckoo cuckoo. That's kind of fun, huh?
That's such a fun song too. I think they played. Did they play it twice this summer? I think they played it twice.
Yeah, they played it just a handful of days before, and I think there was a little like ho hum vibe, but I will never ho hum Beatles when Phish plays Beatles.
Fuck no. Fuck no. I want to hang on that. That's amazing. Yeah, I am the Walrus at Forest Hills, but let's just say hello to some more comments here. Never seen snow removed like that. This was in 93 in my life up in the Northeast. Seemed like the walls of snow 16 feet tall. Wow, cool.
Wow.
Deer feet. I'm ankles sticking out of the packed snow. Oh my good grief. Deer feet. Okay, interesting. That would be. Did they scoop up some deer? Did they scoop up some deers while they were clearing the snow? It was all fire. I lost what we were talking about. Andrea, sorry if I missed it, but did you see them at the Sphere? And I forgot, did you go to the Sphere shows?
I went to I didn't go to the first night, but I went to the second, third, and fourth nights at the Sphere. Yes.
Did you got shut out of the first night, or did you just didn't?
I wasn't. I could only take off so much school, and I figured with such a learning curve in the Sphere, probably the first night was going to be like,
good call. Look at you, pro move there. Well done. You're a veteran, veteran.
I was thinking through it, although there was something that happened that night that I wish I had been there. It might have been the sand. They played that sand, and they had like the cool kind of like space world, like you're going really fast in the spaceship, kind of like before you get to Plaid, when everything's kind of going so fast. That was the only thing I remember seeing that I was like, oh, that would have been cool. Reference, folks. Anyway,
that's fun. Yeah,
I got some peeps.
It was pretty fun to experience actually on Couch Tour. I would.
Totally
I would like to have the goggles. Right? Maybe that would be something I would get the goggles. I mean, I have the goggles VR actually.
Goggles.
Yeah, I actually have a pair of those. Yeah, sure. Why not? It'd be fun. I mean, I think the ones I have the first Oculus.
We have Oculus at our house. Actually,
I think the resolution maybe it would be, but it still would be. Yeah, I do want to go see that thing.
Yes,
Brian, the expression Wook. I have an idea, but oh no, am I the expression Wook?
No, I think you're saying Brian, the expression Wook. I have an idea, but like, what do you think? I think he's asking for a definition. What's
Tell
a
me
Wook?
your idea. No, the expression Wook. We know what a Wook is. Wook used to be quite derogatory. Wook is now a badge of honor, but it used to be quite a derogatory thing.
There's this Facebook group.
They're calling themselves Wook Plus.
I know. Well, yes. There's this Facebook group. It's called like the Big Hunter Trophy Wook group. Hold on. Big Hunters. Colorado Big Game Trophy Wook Hunters is the name of the gang on Facebook.
Oh my God.
And they get out in the wild. You take a photo of some like Wookiee dready bro or sis, and you put it on the internet, and everybody laughs. It's not very nice, but
yeah, I'm not into that.
I know. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, because right.
Anyway, Knucklebone Broth Avenue. That's a great jam.
I hear a sound. Oh man, fucking Knucklebone Broth Avenue.
That's the one with the fire.
Oh yeah, it could be. That is the jam.
I've got to get back to.
But so is like egg in a hole.
Oh, I like that one.
Egg in a hole.
I'm still waiting for Thanksgiving to come around. That's the one that goes, it's a shame about the blood.
Yeah, why did
like, where has that gone? Come on, Phish.
That one needs to come back.
And Miami.
He's a bona fide asshole. That's that one, right?
No, I think that's a different one.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. It's so great. All right.
All right, let's escape at Charleston. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, they played it in Mexico. It's so good. That's
what? Wait. What is it? Is it a Trey tune? What is it? I forgot.
There's a light that's shining me. It's a
Ghost
in the forest.
Yeah. I know that one. That's
great. A light.
Yeah, that was fantastic. There was another one, Devotion to a Dream, which is also I think Ghost of the Forest tune.
I don't know about that. Devotion. All it was a memory.
Or a Trey tune, right? It's not, I don't know, but I called it and somebody was like, whoa, deep cut. I was like, really? We don't all know that song?
Song by Phish.
What's going on through your mind?
That is actually on Fuego.
Devotion to a Dream. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Waves is what I wanted to see most. Ghost is their best song since 97. Oh, hot take here from Matt, from Ninja Cat Matt. Their best song from 97. What era are you? No, Matt's like, he's older than us, right? That's an interesting take. Their best song since 97. Oh, okay. That's not a bad take. I could get on board with that, possibly, Anne.
I mean, better than Ass Handed. That's a modern song we need to hear.
Oh,
again.
Here comes the snark, folks. Here comes the snark.
That's a great song. Where is that gone? There's so many songs that are epic that are like just kind of like they're like in the basement in a box or something.
I'd say like
they're in the attic.
Yeah. Ass Handed will come back for sure.
I hope
maybe. It's good. It's pretty good take
it's
there.
Just so
Gaiuti, I would say rivals Ghost, maybe better in my opinion.
I think we talked about the Gaiuti time machine. Yes, Gaiute, the rabid Phish fan sees and salutes
the rabid Phish
fan in you, in me, in you, Gaiute. Maybe that'll be my next sticker.
Yeah,
Boulder,
absolutely.
Dead Ghost. What's that? DED? Dave's
Grateful Dead, maybe. I don't know. The Dead played there the summer. They played there a couple years in a row, I think, before Phish played.
You said, "Come on, we're letting Matt down right now. We don't know what he's talking about."
Sorry, I'm too slow on the comments. I think he's referring to. He's saying I can't keep up with the comments.
I can't keep up. I can't keep up.
Down with Disease. Down with Disease, Ghost. Come on, Boulder. He's saying that was so good. Okay.
Oh, DWD. Gotcha.
Okay. Beatles were the first ever act at Red Rocks too. Interesting. I knew they had played Red Rocks. I didn't realize they were the first ever act to play there. That's pretty interesting.
Like rock act, because I feel like there's been concerts going on since like the 1930s
or something.
No, like OOs.
Wow.
Red Rocks music history. First one was really good. It began with classical and jazz performances in the early 20th century, evolving to host rock and roll, folk, and other genres. Notable events include the Beatles' 1964 concert, as well as U2's career-making 83 performance.
This is Red Rocks. This is the edge. Racer Records. Did you go to Sphere? I hear they're going to be like popping up all around the world now.
Missing Phish on purpose is not a pro move, lol. He's lolling me. Listen, I'm a teacher. I only have so much bread, Ninja Cat Matt, and I gotta like eat it for lunch on my sandwich, as well as make smart moves about Phish. So let's just cool it.
Sphere. Oh no. Oh, that's not good.
Oh wow. What's his name? No, he's talking about the owner of MSG.
Yeah,
Dolan.
but it's just like it's not some place I really ever want to go. Just FYI here, anybody who doesn't
Doglog.
I know Doglog in the house. I don't want to go to those kinds of places. You're welcome to I don't know. Ignorance is bliss. Call me out for it. It's fine. But I don't really want to go to those places that tend to. They really kind of bum me out and they kill the vibe, and I don't know, no stress about it. But it's like I don't ever want to go there.
We'll just put it on the side there.
I hear a sound. Sup, doggies? Nice to see you, Michael Warren.
I love Hey Stranger. It is definitely super groovy.
Yeah, Hey Stranger is becoming a beloved.
I got music.
Everybody's really down. Everybody loves Hey Stranger. Sightless Escape Live. Okay. It's on YouTube. I need to go burn it to memory. I like that one a lot though. It's got a very Trey band vibe to it.
Which one? Hey Stranger?
Like it's got a very am I okay? Yeah. Sightless Escape.
Oh yeah.
It has like, Trey just played, at the Grateful Dead 60th anniversary, and I just was like, he played that Mission in the Rain tune, and they played a lot of Phish songs, but the like what did they do? They opened with like Camel Walk or something, or
I didn't really follow it. I think
it
I
was
was out
like
camping that weekend.
whatever it was like super Trey bandish. It was like, how like the
Well, yeah, it
distinction
was Trey
between,
band.
I
It was
know,
an
but it's like,
8-piece Trey band.
yeah, I like sometimes Jerry's band had such a different taste. It had such a different, sonic palette. It was like a totally different thing. And I sometimes really appreciated it and found myself listening to it far more than I listened to the Dead. And then you'd go back and you'd ask yourself, is Jerry band better than the Dead? And then you go listen to the Dead and you're like, oh no, wait, they're great, but they're a different thing altogether.
It's a different brand, like sort of branding or genre for sure. I mean, is the comparison apt?
I think so, because I think you have like, what I hear in Trey band always is like Alive Again. I always hear that, summer's coming in the review. The summer's coming in. I always hear that sort of Cayman Island vibe in his thing. And whenever you heard Jerry band, you always heard this other genre.
You
I don't
heard
exactly
Black
know what it
Roots
is.
Americana.
Something
You
like
heard,
that. I don't remember. Yeah, it
you
was
heard
just like
Melvin
something.
Seals.
Yeah.
You heard the Church on his organ is what you
heard. Yeah, that's probably on the
I
nose.
think. And you had the Jerryettes. Same, not
older. Yeah, there you go. 54. September 19th. Happy early birthday.
Ooh.
Okay.
Brian is also a September baby.
I'm September 11th. We'll have to celebrate together. Ninja Cat Matt. Not live. Gaiuti versus Ghost. Ghost every time. Okay. Well, Gaiuti is. I'm a Gaiuti guy.
We're 90s kids when it was so far out, and it would just be so dissonant and fuck your head up. Those 97 Gaiutis, 98.
Yeah, I mean, we are splitting hairs a little bit, but. Oh, okay. Racer Records saw you two at the Sphere. Well done, dude.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. I want to see Tool at the Sphere.
Really?
Fuck yeah. I don't even like Milo. My son is really into them. He got turned on to Tool by his history teacher at my school, who's kind of this rabble rousing epic anarchist who runs a book group, who I'm like, yes, I love this guy. But he's super into Tool. Milo got Dave into Tool drummer stuff, right? The drummer is like a beast from Tool. I think that would be the show to see there. Cass saw them in Germany. She saw them in Utah. I've
had one of their CDs, but I don't really know them. But I think I don't quote, like, one of them is one. Is there any umbilical? Is there any taut connection between them and Phish? I feel like one of their members is like a Phish head.
I am not sure about that.
Who is that? Is that Tool?
I think people that like Phish and like that dark
Ween?
Phish.
Yeah, exactly.
Ween for sure. Roses are free.
No. What's the connection between Tool and Phish?
Just great drummer.
Come crash for a minute. Yeah, is all I know. Hey stranger, come crash for a minute. That's a cool lyric. Jerry Garcia band was Jerry plays Motown-ish. Yeah, but very different from the Dead. Yeah. Let's okay, so let's close this summer out. So 3 nights in Chicago, these Forest Hill shows that we talked about, amazing. Then it was 3 nights at SPAC. What is SPAC? Help me out here, Ann.
Saratoga Performing Arts Center.
Okay, and
it's in real upstate, not Westchester.
Right. And I mean, we don't need to like relive this again, but for those just, who want to know a little bit, there's something sort of historical went down on the last night at SPAC in Saratoga Springs. Some mega fan, do you know who it was? You heard the t-shirt story, right?
Yeah, this was, I think, a couple weeks before SPAC.
Right.
Yeah. When are we going to get a tweezer encore.
Right. So Tweezer is a
Yes.
famously, I mean, most of you guys here will already know this, but Tweezer is a beloved vehicle for jam Phish tune that has existed since the 92 or earlier. And it has a second part that is actually a little bit different than the first part. It has a reprise. And
Played in a
often,
different key, actually.
yeah, and it's a great kind of different thing, but it definitely is the counterpart or the sister of the brother Tweezer. And Tweezer, you know, it's that one, step into the freezer, Caesar with a tweezer, you know it. You're like, that stupid Phish song that's like, you guys love that one. And yes, we love it so much. It even has this reprise that actually is even better than the original song, because what it is, it's like a true reprise. I think what happens is the band plays this tweezer at some point during the show. It might be in the first set. I think our tweezers aren't often in the second set. I don't really know this stat.
Yes.
I think I would know this by now, but at any rate, they'll
probably got a fairly equal distribution.
And they'll come out in the encore, and you will have completely forgotten that they had played Tweezer earlier in the night. And it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a reprise.
Yes.
But they'll come out and they'll play a great, you know, Loving Cup or Axis Bold as Love or maybe an original, and they'll come do this encore, and the crowd will be awesome. And then like you'll have totally forgotten, and we'll break into this, and you're like, oh fuck, and this like tension starts to build up, and everybody's like waiting for the drop, and it's like, and then Mike comes in and bong, and you're like, yeah, and it's like total berserk. And then you're like, yes, this is what I'm here for, tweezers. It's like full fucking metal. It's so fun. And then like every now and again, they'll open the show with the reprise, and you'll have totally forgot. You're like, what's going on? And it's just like, oh, here's what we're doing, guys. This is how hot this show is. And so the reprise,
or they will do a tweezer fest where they will stitch together the set list with the tweezer. Is also something that's happened a number of times. Not to cut you off, pardon me.
No. It's an important point to bring up, because yeah, there has been more than one, I think, Tweezer Fest, and Tweezer Fest was just, I think, probably stumbled upon accidentally one year when they were playing Tweezer, and then they went into Ruby Waves, and then they went back into Tweezer, and then they did something else, and then they went back into Tweezer, and then it was like this goof, and then it was like everybody was like, how many times are they going to do this? And they did like 5 more times, and everybody was like, it was a Tweezer night. And then they're like, it was so much fun and so stupid that like they did it again at one point, and then they played like a 40-minute Tweezer at one point, and then it was like, oh, it's Tweezer's become a, you know, were you at that show where they played that crazy Tweezer, right? And so then the reprise, you don't always get it, but when you do, it's so much fun. And because the reprise always falls into the encore slot, or into the second encore or third encore slot, you never get the actual tweezer in the encore slot. And some fan, like, who, you know, is this crazy statistical, you know, looking at all the lines connected to, you know, where all the patterns are, had found out that tweezer, the canon tweezer, had never been played as an encore. And he made some silly t-shirt halfway in the middle of the tour that said, yo, do you remember what the t-shirt said? It was like, why have we never had a tweezer encore? Something like that. And he passed them out to some sort of influential Phish heads, and he tried to get one backstage. And
I believe he did give one to Trey on a hanger, no less.
Right. And so at this last show of this summer tour is kind of a 2-chapter, how can I say? It's kind of a 2-phase summer tour where we're not getting exactly a full summer tour, although we got 30 something shows. They're coming back in just 3 weeks time from now for like a fall tour, which is really kind of more like a late summer tour.
They're calling summer tour. It's kind of anyway.
Yeah. Well, they do this usually. They go on a summer tour, and then they like they'll take 3 weeks off, and then they'll do the summer blowout, and they'll do the festival or the Dick's show.
No Dicks.
No Dicks this year. So instead, so we've got shows ahead of us, but the last show of this tour, they played their Tweezer Reprise Fest. So in between all of this, not all of them, but they played something, and then they went into a tweezer reprise, which they never do, and that has sort of been a signature of 4.0 Phish, of this latest iteration of Phish. They've remixed the lineup of the stage, that now like all these songs that used to open shows, close shows, and shows that used to be in the first set go in the second set, and Trey's playing kind of like bass tones, and Mike's playing guitar tones, and like everything's getting flipped on its head, and there's just in a constant state of creativity, discovery, remixing, redefining what it is to be them. And they played reprise in the second set, right, in the second song slot.
Okay, but here's the thing that you have not mentioned.
Okay,
is that the whole tour opened with the Tweezer Fest.
Oh, this year is open with a Tweezer Fest? Okay. Oh,
if I'm not mistaken, where do we open? Manchester? If I'm not mistaken, we open with the Tweezer Fest and we close with the Reprise Fest.
Oh, God.
Which is just, how can
you, it was like
whatever comes next is not part of Summer Tour, because Summer Tour, it has this container.
We've entered 5.0 Phish, folks.
No. We need another pandemic before we can see it. So something terrible has to happen.
No, wait, Manchester? I'm not seeing a Tweezer Fest at Manchester. Manchester, right?
I thought whatever night they opened was a Tweezer Fest.
Maybe. Sure? It might have been the beginning of the year, Anne. It might have been like the first show of the year. No, I'm looking at it. It's not. That's not it. Hollywood was the last show. Yeah. Manchester, 6/20/25. MoMA, Back on the Train, Wolfman's Theme, Old Home Place, 46 Days, Birds of No.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of the spring.
No. It might be the first show of spring. Yeah. MSG. Hold on. Where's MSG's over? Moon Palace. That doesn't count. Does it count? I was like, ridiculous. What are we doing, Anne? What are we doing?
I don't know. Are we going to read the
I think we should. I think we should. We should
All right,
we should read the book.
Let's see if there's any more comments.
Yeah,
and then let's post up our links so people can read along. We're going to read today about flow state.
Hold on. I got sorry, awesome. You go. Flow state.
No, you go.
I'm a 90s kid too. Gaiuti at Alpine and other venues.
Yes.
It ain't Ghost in my
laughing my ass off.
The drummer is my only real drawing point to Tool. Okay, Danny Carey is awesome. Let's see here.
Doesn't Ninja Cat Matt play drums?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Carey from Tool is an amazing and worth the price of admission. Saw them at Power Trip. They didn't fit in for me, but okay.
Wait,
Charleston
where are you reading that? I didn't see that. Okay, all right, keep going. That's all good. It's all good.
Matt, we've been at the same show before. We've seen this. We've been in the same room before. I was at that show. The Twee Prize opener in Lincoln. Yeah, 6?
Oh, you went with Joe, 96. It was 2 weeks after Cass was born. He had gotten hit by a motorcycle, and I think the two of you went.
I don't remember if I went with Joe.
Yeah, he went to Nebraska. It was a snowstorm.
New Hampshire Tweezer Mercury Tweezer Pillow Jets. Okay, New Hampshire. So it was New Hampshire, but maybe it was the second or third night. I don't know. Unless I got it wrong. Maybe I got it wrong. Brian, I have to bolt. Thanks for being here, Racer Records. It's always a pleasure, my friend. Hope to see you on Wednesday evening. Yes.
Records.
Yeah, dude. Andrea, nice to meet you. Yeah, I know.
Gaiute.
Oh God, goodness.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Daryl. No, not Daryl. Daryl and Joe. I think Joe. Yeah, Record Racer is Joe up in Regina, Saskatchewan. See you, dude.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Joe. Yeah.
No,
anyway. Okay.
Nothing.
Regina.
That's right.
We love saying it. We love the name of this.
Of course you do.
Okay. Bye, Racer. Okay. You pretty much always get the Twee prize after a tweezer. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like you get gypped. So I feel like something's like, oh man, we didn't get it. That sucks. It reminded me of Moby Dick at Deer Creek. Kept re-entering the gym. Okay. Night 3 was the tweezer sandwich. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Drummer.
Night 3.
All right. Let's get into it, Anne. What do you say?
All right. Let's get into it. Did you want to give us another screen so people can read along?
Yeah,
Or we're
sure.
just
Let me
gonna
pull it
read?
up. I'll pull it up. So we've got, why don't you tell the people what we got?
All right, well, we're going to be reading today an article by Brandon Sneed, who is a writer for, the Rolling Stone. And we're going to read about Mike Gordon's quest to understand the science behind the flow state. What's interesting about this article is that, and I skimmed it as fast as anybody could, so I really didn't read it. I don't know a lot, but it is going to open with this experiment that Mike Gordon is doing with Bob Weir, which is actually really interesting because, of course, we all know that Trey and Bobby just had their Grateful Dead thing, but I love that on the side, without like the cameras rolling or all the people, Bob Weir and Mike are doing this experiment. So we're going to read about that. We're going to read about flow state. And the byline of the article is, that feeling you get when you're really in the zone? The Phish bassist is creating a tool to capture that. So that's kind of fun. If you have Rolling Stone, you can check it out. I believe this is from July 6th. So a month antiquated. But we never got to this. This was on our list
really
of
cool.
great things to read.
Are we connected? We're all okay, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. This actually, I read half of it, and there's a Boulder. It comes to Boulder. Do you know that?
What does?
This story.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah,
I know nothing.
Yes, you will be. I got a point. Great. I want to stop. So,
I wonder if it talks about Andy McEwen and the game.
That's who I want. That's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah.
So
okay,
it's
cool.
so interesting because the game that he invented, I don't know if it's the same thing, but it's the same general technology is being used to help kids with ADHD like learn about their brains. So there's going to be a lot to unpack around this. My friend's son did something like this. Yeah, he's in Eldo Springs. Did they talk about him by name?
No, but they mentioned that this technology they got comes from Boulder, and I got to play the game. And I
remember when you went to play the game.
Yeah, and I also had Andy's Fender Twin for a while before it went on to Jacob Red Jazz Odyssey. Oh man, I love that guy.
He's a real.
Okay, why don't you start it off, Ann?
All right, sounds great. I'm going to jump in. In the middle of a sprawling recording room at Bob Weir's TRI Studios in San Rafael, California, one Sunday afternoon in April 2023, Weir and Phish bassist Mike Gordon were up to something strange. Ooh. At a glance, it looked like a couple of chill music legends doing chill music legend shit. They both sat in chairs, Weir on guitar and wearing shorts and slides and a loose button down, breezy as ever, and Gordon on the bass in gray jeans, green sneakers, and green shirt. Gordon setting the rhythm, Weir finding a groove. But they also both had something strapped to their heads and arms and under their shirt, their chest too. Sensors of some sort. And across the room, a half dozen scientists and engineers gathered around laptops and monitors, positioned semi-carefully atop music stands and a giant purple equipment trunk.
All right, we are doing this, said a bald man with a gray goatee, Dr. Greg Applebaum, a neuroscientist from the University of California, San Diego, standing behind the big purple trunk. To his right, Dr. Suzanne Dicker, a neuroscientist from New York University with long blonde hair. I like how he's coloring all the characters here.
Yeah,
we know what color clothes they're wearing, what color sneakers they're wearing, what color hair they have. Studied a monitor displaying an array of colorful jagged lines. In front of them, Gordon's longtime engineer, producer, collaborator, Jared Slomoff, took a seat next to Sean Montgomery, a neuroscientist and creator of biofeedback company EmoteBit. They both likewise had similar technology strapped to their heads and bodies. And as Gordon and Weir played, they occasionally pressed a pedal mounted next to each of them on the floor under their feet. And and Montgomery and Slomoff did the same sometimes as they listened. All the strapped-on sensors were connected to the computers by Bluetooth and transmitting data collected from their respective humans to the machines, clocking things like heart rate, skin galvanic response, and brain's electrical activity.
We've been slowly chipping away at this, Gordon tells me when we catch up this spring. This being research for the creation of a device that Gordon dreamed up years ago, something he calls Zenbox. The device, in theory at least, would detect when an artist is approaching flow state, that otherworldly form of consciousness wherein peak performance takes no effort, when there seems to be no such thing as time, when one feels everything and everyone all at once, maybe feels God, maybe even feels like God. It's when the music is playing itself, Gordon says. We got to just pause for the pictures here.
Yeah, this is just crazy. Okay. Yeah, very, very cool. I don't even know what to say about it. So they've got a little.
I have the same Birkenstocks as Bob Weir. I'm just gonna say that real quick.
They have the like fluffy, like deer skin or like sheepskin on the
inside.
inside.
They're awesome. They're so fuzzy and wonderful. Sheepskin lined Birkies.
What do you think they're playing here? What song do you guess they're playing?
Oh, something they're both singing.
Yeah. I'm sure it's like probably some dead tune.
Yeah, or maybe like
some standard
Bob Dylan song or something.
Could be.
Going down the road, feeling bad, maybe bad.
So they've got these like headsets on with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, half a dozen sensors on each of their heads and a little forehead thing. Mike's acoustic bass back here. It looks like a recording studio that's not. This doesn't look like it's in his house. They're off somewhere.
It's in San Rafael. They're in California.
My bad. TRI Studios. Okay, Mike Gordon and Bob Weir performed together while being monitored at TRI Studios.
All right.
Yeah, keep going.
Sure. Well, I want to say something actually, because there's this guy, this author that I've read a couple of his books. His name is Steven Nachmanovitch, and he wrote a book called The Art of Is, which is sort of more philosophical, but his most well-known book is called Free Play. And in it, he talks about flow state. He talks about Gregory Bateson, who's a behavioral psychologist in the 70s, who did a lot of really interesting research on play theory and childhood development and neuropsychology. And so a lot of this like flow state stuff is really just super fascinating. If you want to learn more about it, maybe check out Steven Nachmanovitch. I think he's a great writer. Love all his examples that he uses. Free Play is definitely the thing to read, but I think I feel like
it might get mentioned in this. I could be wrong.
Really?
Maybe.
Yeah, he just like put together for a sort of more like pop readership a lot of more scientific based behavioral psychology research, and it's just super interesting. I read a lot of nerdy stuff about brain development and cognitive science because I work with kids, and I'm always trying to figure out like, how do we get them unhooked from the cell phone and hooked into the conversation, the reading, the artwork, the writing, blah, blah, blah. Like that's ultimately what I'm after with my work. So I find flow state really interesting. And I'm excited to keep reading the article. So
yeah, I mean, we're going to hear more about it, but it's a little woo-woo-y, right? It's a little woo-woo-ish, but there's no denying that
I don't know if it is.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. But it's from a logical, pragmatic sort of like, I don't know, just first impression. It's easy to be like, really? You're really measuring our brainwaves? You can, pinpoint where these things are coming from? Really?
But they did this with the Buddhist monks like 20 years ago. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it's because like Zenbox has 2 X's in it. But who knows? All right, okay. Should I continue on?
Yeah, do you want to keep going? Go for it. Yeah, sure.
I'll do one and then you hop in.
Okay.
When detecting the artist approaching flow, The device would emit a subtle cue, a slight change in the sound of their instrument or the lighting, to give the brain a subconscious boost and thereby accelerate and enhance one's immersion into flow. That's what the pedals were that the guys were pressing, signals that they felt in flow.
It all sounds like it could be the product of some sort of tech bro-backed change the world startup venture, but it's just Gordon and his curiosity. He pays the research crew consulting fees out of his own pocket and has been on and off for years. The thing about ZenBox, as Andrea said, XENBOX, capital X, the final
yeah, double
X,
caps.
okay.
Xenon.
Is it might be impossible to actually create. Okay, they admit that it might actually be impossible to create. Gordon knows this. He doesn't care. It's not to make money for me, Gordon says. It's to promote this idea that there's, practicing and becoming agile on your instrument or your voice or whatever it is important. And that there's also another important thing, which is the way of letting go, surrendering that. And that's what allows this kind of flow state to come about.
Surrender to the flow.
Surrender to the flow. Okay. The quote here is, "We want to experience the eternal while we're still alive," Mike Gordon says of flow state, quoting Star Wars. I'll read this last one. Gordon's mission here is like a cross between ancient mythical quest and cutting edge R&D about understanding the creative process and specifically the concept of flow.
In a lot of ways, it started more than 40 years ago before Phish, before he knew what flow was, back in Sudbury, Massachusetts, during a high school engineering class. Using a wooden box and a few wires, he made a device from scratch that could measure changes in his brain activity. Very rudimentary, he says now. Just a simple biofeedback machine. I made it from scratch. The idea was that it was supposed to measure some kind of brainwave flow and then maybe warble a tone when the brainwave state changed. But in reality, it shouldn't have worked at all. It just seemed intriguing as a concept.
I don't understand why it doesn't. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think many of us know that Mike initially studied engineering at UVM. So it's not that sort of crazy that he built himself a nerd machine for his brain. Right? What were you going to say?
Well, I just it says in reality, it shouldn't have worked at all. Why? I don't understand why he's dismissing his own idea here. It should have worked. It's a brilliant idea to have a brainwave, any signal. Doesn't even have to be like a measure. I mean, like any measurable signal, whether it just be plus or minus or 1 or 0. Like it could essentially turn a switch on or off and create a tone difference, which is pretty interesting.
Let's keep going because this is pretty fascinating. We're going to find out where the idea comes from.
Okay.
He still has the thing to this day sitting in his house, a small brown box labeled Alpha monitor with 2 white dials, sense and vol, above a metallic switch and a couple of input-output ports. He probably has it in that epic closet where he keeps all of his shit. Yeah. Brian and I last time read the what's it called? Architectural Digest, AD, like that, article on Mike's studio. It's very beautiful. Gordon doesn't remember what sparked the idea, probably a Radio Shack catalog or inspiration from writer and inventor Forrest Mims. What a great name. I had all his books, Gordon says. I even wrote him a fan letter at one point. So maybe it was in one of those books. I like the idea of incorporating brain stuff with electronics. Me too, Mike. You want to go?
Then came one night in 1985 during one of his first shows with Phish, and he felt something new that he wanted to feel forever. It's when the music feels like it's playing itself, he says. It's an experience via music that makes me feel extremely myself, extremely connected to the people around me. A very connecting, universal sort of feeling. And once you've had a little taste of it, it's like, oh, this is why we're here. This is why, and why we're alive as people. Obsession took hold and defined his life from that point on. That experience and experiences like that really informed my sense of vision, he says. Peak experience, religious, transcendent experience, epiphanies, etc., etc. Interesting. Okay, have guided me. I dedicated my journal after that, simply figuring out what happened that night and how I can make it happen more. Yeah, I was looking at this word, etc. I read it, etc., etc. But I knew it just said etc. But I know, but I was like, oh, well, interesting. You could actually read it as etc., 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 etc. You could. You could. Sorry,
No,
I'm just
that's
tripping out on
okay.
a little bit. Yeah.
I just this bit in the middle, peak experience, religious transcendent experiences, epiphanies, etc. Blah blah blah. I have to say that I relate to that in the sense that this is why I studied religious studies when I went back for my master's, because I was really curious about transcendent experiences. And this was during a time, and you would remember this, Brian, when in Boulder there was a Afro-Cuban drum group, and we were all kind of learning all that music and singing at the co-op. And that Afro-Cuban Santeria music was all about spirit possession, transcendence, and sort of the empty vessel of the body in the flow state of dancing and certain rhythms, and maybe alcohol or tobacco or some kind of, other pharmacological substances, opening up those channels for, at least in Santeria, for like a spirit to enter and take over. And that possession jam, I always felt like that was so in line with what I felt at the Dead and what I felt at Phish and what I love so much about rock and roll. So it's obviously those guys feel it too, but it's just so great to read about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And it's like, it's interesting, the perspective of like experiencing it from like a listening point of view and also like a creative point of view. And I wonder, now that I'm saying it, like, I wonder if it's from a listening point of view in both instances, because, you can achieve that sense of like, you forget what song you're in at a Phish show. You're like, where are we?
The moment unfolding. Yes.
Right. I don't know where I am. And then how much time has passed? Where am I? Am I still, oh my God, okay, I'm back to reality. I just got lost there for a second in somewhere.
Yeah. It's the still lawn boy moments.
Right. And then you play music, and sometimes your fingers, like, you don't have to think about where your fingers need to go. They just go to where they need to go. And then you're like, you find yourself like, look, I'm not even thinking, and it's all just going, right? And it's all just happening. I wonder, I'm sitting here wondering as I'm saying, yeah, but like, that seems like from a point of creation, but I wonder also if it's also a point of listening. It's like your ears can hear it. Is it muscle memory in your fingers, or is it like some kind of brain auditory thing?
No, because when you play music with people, and I don't know your experience all the way, but like I will play in my band and I'll just be struggling listening to me, or not even listening, just like trying to play in the rhythm, get the chords right. But once I'm comfortable and my hands know what they're doing and I start listening, I might hear like Edwin and Linda's conversation. I might look down and be like, oh, I'm like playing on the up rather than the down, or everybody gets a little glint in their eyes. Sort of happens from time to time. Mm-hmm. Maybe more in rehearsal than like at a performance or something like that, but that's like the most fun. So I think it is like listening and playing. I think it is a listening thing, though. It's
maybe
when your consciousness sort of widens. You want to keep going?
Yeah, well, I'm just like wondering, like, athletes experience this. I'm sure like pilots, like, there's like so many different people who probably experience this thing where everything, I mean, even when I'm working, like you had said, like when you're teaching, it's like you get into this zone. And like when I'm photographing, sometimes I'll walk away. Sometimes I'll walk away from the photographer or walk away from the camera, and somebody will be like, what was that? What did you just do? I'm like, I don't know. What did I just do? And they're like, dude, I've never, and I like Amy Winehouse. So I remember a little tidbit that I read about her, about when she comes off stage, she just collapses.
Mm.
And you can imagine, like, I don't know, she came from nowhere, and like she just had so much to pour. She just poured out. She didn't even know how to maybe like regulate it. And
I bet Janice was like that too. Like, alcohol is certainly a conduit for rock and roll music in that state. Obviously not the best conduit, but it's a true story.
Ninja Matt Cat brought up the pH low state, the flow state. I like that, Matt. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for the article link. It's where I lose self. Why Phish is so spiritual for me. A transformative feeling. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
me too.
I think for so many of us.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Athletes enter this state. Yeah, where you're in the like thinking state, and then you're in the like flow state. Yeah. Gotta jump off. Dude, Michael Warren, thanks for being here.
Love you, buddy.
Surrender to the flow. See you guys. That's my dog log, homie. I'll pull up the dog log.
I want to have a hang with you guys one of these. We need to talk Jedi tone, and maybe Dave's energy guide.
I don't even know if either of us will be able to contribute to a Dave's energy guide conversation.
I have a feeling Michael will.
Okay.
Maybe he'll sing to us. Bye.
Drumming. Drumming lets you get there both ways, athletically, coordination, and musically. Interesting. That's an interesting.
Well, because the brain, what happens from what I have read, and I have read quite a bit, is that the movement that crosses the body, left hemispheric and right hemispheric conversation, and that's definitely prevalent in drumming. You cross the body to get the hi-hat or the snare, and your feet are doing different things. That is with like small motor coordination too, with developmentally when you're little, cutting, writing, drawing, coloring, all of those things sort of get that same action going, left and right hemispheric conversation.
I'm thinking of John Fishman just there in his,
octopus nest.
In his octopus's garden.
Yeah.
Shall we continue?
Yeah. Why don't you go?
Okay. I've lost where we are. He threw
he threw himself into it.
Okay. He threw himself into it as often as he could, as both performer and participant. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about Mike?
I believe.
Okay, he threw himself into it as often as he could, both performer and participant. He studied mythical philosophy, neuroscientific inquiry. Wait, I read this one. Everything and everything in between. As Joseph Campbell said, Gordon says, quoting the famed mythologist whose work inspired Star Wars, that I did not know.
Yes.
We want to experience the eternal while we're still alive. Gordon...
Oh, you get that really hard last
damn it.
name.
Okay. Gordon first heard the term flow in the 1990s as psychologist Mihaly I failed. I had it. I practiced. I did have it. But I just I have to start over.
Mihaly.
Mahali. It sounds like the man Mulcahy.
Mihaly.
It sounds like we're drunk. If we played this on slow motion, it would be like
Mihaly. Anyway, it's not as bad as Amanda Petrusic.
I had it though. I really did. I practiced it like 3 or 4 times. Oh fuck. Okay. Anyway, Mihaly Mulcahy, the man Mulcahy, popularized the term, inspiring Gordon to make his 2002 film Rising Low, which I don't recall if I ever saw, in which he interviewed musicians about their experiences of flow. One interviewee told Gordon that flow feels like moving down a river or through the ocean. For Gordon, it feels like flying. We all have so many different experiences that have led to where we're at and how we're able to create music and experience it, he says. It's subjective, and yet at the same time, there's a commonality. when everyone knows that something happened and no one of us could have made it happen. It took everyone committing.
Yeah.
And then there's this crazy, hold on, there's actually more to this picture. Why is that picture not coming through? You can only see.
That's all I can see.
Oh, that's a bummer. I can't click on it either. But when I copied it, let's see, I'll just pull it up real quick. This is can you see that?
Oh, yes.
He's got the full thing on. Oh, it's not coming through. Okay. Yeah. So he's got the full on brain activity measuring skull cap.
It's giving Cocoon vibes. Do you remember at the end of Cocoon when they got all the monitors, or like ET vibes? It's like 1983 and they're in that scary long white thing.
Okay.
All right.
So Mike wears electrodes that measure brain activity. All right. You take it over. The Zen box.
The Zen box concept began taking shape in the early aughts by our friend Andy McEwen when Gordon walked into a Boulder, Colorado New Age shop and discovered a biofeedback device that clocked his brain's electrical activity and helped guide him into a more focused, flow-like state. It really seemed like it was working, he says. This eventually led to the Zen box concept. Or we don't know if it's our friend Andy McEwen, but I feel it has to be, right?
I think I want to explain the most rudimentary memory of the game, if I remember it correctly.
It was feather, right?
I remember archery. I feel like it was archery. Was it a feather? I remember a feather now that you just said feather. I hadn't thought about feather.
I thought you were a feather and you float yourself through. I never played it. I know Dave played it.
You hooked these things up to your fingers. I did it a couple of times because the first time that I did it, there was one sensor on the finger, and the next time I did it, there was like 10 sensors on all the fingers. I remember that. So it was two different times. I can't remember if it was the same game, but I remember there was one where you had to build your tension up and get psyched up and get really excited, and the archer would pull back the bow, and then you had to and then I think you could I can't recall, but I think you could focus the arrow, and when it got into the right spot, you could exhale, and I can't recall if there was a button or not, but then you could shoot the arrow. But I remember to pull the bow back, you had to have this biofeedback that amplified the strength of the archer, and then to release it, you had to let it go. This is the one that I remember.
Interesting,
right? And the feather one, but now that you mentioned feather and a floating feather, I somehow remember. I feel like
maybe that was one of the levels. In the end, the game was too zen. It didn't have any game components that made it sort of marketable as a game. I feel like I had heard in retrospect, a handful of years ago.
Pretty crazy idea. I remember it was all supposed to be connected to music. I do remember that. I was like, what's the point of it? There was a video. No, there was a video game. I think he did get, it was a video game that was connected to music somehow. I don't remember. We got to get in. Let's ask him about it.
I like it. We will. All right. Shall
What's he doing, by the way, right now? Where's Andy?
I see him once every handful of years at a concert or a festival or something. I'm not really sure. I mean, he's still got his place in Eldo Springs. Okay. And it's very lovely. It's a recording studio. And I don't know if he's doing more stuff about the game, but let's jump back in because this is a long one, shall we?
Sorry. Yeah, keep yeah.
I'm gonna go. Explaining the scientific intricacies of flow state would require a summary of decades worth of neuroscience and biology lectures and books. And even in its most distilled form, such a summary comes across as somehow dry and pretentious and mind-numbing, despite the fact that it describes an existentially mind-boggling phenomenon. Honestly, if you read Free Play, it's not that dry, and you should. The brain is likely the most complex object in the known universe. Wow. Researching and explaining it becomes inescapably dense. True story. So the simplest way to put it is all areas of the brain always have a half dozen or more different levels of electrical activity present at all times, aka brainwaves. And how well your brain functions often depends on which brainwave is strongest. And one category of them can be considered flow waves.
I wonder how they distinguish flow waves versus other kinds of waves. In theory, ZenBox would recognize the brain beginning to generate stronger flow waves and signal the brain to keep doing that. Maybe it's via a vibey wobble in the guitar or a subtle lighting shift, something giving the brain a little extra juice. After years of talking about it, by the 2010s, Gordon and Slomoff, the sound engineer, started doing something real about it. We started taking it more seriously. Slomoff says, "We didn't want this to be some woo-woo thing. The idea was for it to be a real object based on real science." Scientists have been studying flow state and brainwave training for years, particularly in the world of sports, concussion treatment, and child behavioral development. There you go, Anne. A few phone calls later, Slomoff and Gordon set off on what Slomoff calls a big field trip one furious weekend. They visited a lab in Montreal where a company was working with everyone from athletes to children struggling with behavioral issues, teaching them how to improve their minds by training their brainwaves. Using brainwave detection headsets, these athletes and children would sit at computer screens and run simulated roller coaster rides with a catch. The ride would only move forward as they learned to generate stronger focused waves. Okay, so that corroborates this archery thing. That's really interesting.
It is. I want to make sure I drop at the end if people are interested. A couple theorists to check out. Dry, yes, but sort of foundational to play theory and like a historic neuroscience perspective.
Do you want to go find them and get the links, and then I'll keep reading? Or what?
I mean, I just want to drop their names, but I'll find some links that maybe we can post up later. But Gregory Bateson, this guy Piaget, this guy Vygotsky, and then one of my teachers, Sam Gill, he did some really interesting work on play theory too. There's also Elaine Scarry, who talks about the body and the kind of singularity of pain. I'll do some more thinking. I know I've got more that are like in the tip of my brain. Siegelman. I gotta think about it a little more.
Do you want to read some comments?
Yeah. Let's pause for comments.
Okay. It's a little tricky. Why don't I'll pull some up and you can, let's see. Witness protection in the house, doing the bull dance, feeling the flow.
Who's witness protection? Another new to me fan.
New to me too, actually. Yes.
Tokyo Record style.
No, I appreciate you being here, Witness Protection. We don't know you, but we hope you're safe in your witness protection
avatar. It's probably better
avatar.
We don't know them, because then they wouldn't be really quite protected, whoever you are.
Getting weird in here. The arrow archer, yes. Not an idea that we're discussing.
Well, you got to read along. We're digressing, Ninja Cat. This is what Brian and I do. We're yeah. Oh.
Well, it sounds like something out of Timothy Leary. Oh, Anne, you will love this. The next video coming out of Tokyo Record Style is a video about a bookstore, and this bookstore that I visited in Tokyo, and every shelf in this bookstore is curated by a very luminary person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. And each of them have put forth 10 books that have informed their sensibility, their
oh my God, I can't wait to come to Tokyo, Brian.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And one of them is it's called like Tune In, Turn Up, and Tune Out, or whatever. It's like but it's a Japanese book by a Japanese author, which is very counterintuitive to read, like a Timothy Leary sort of titled book. And another one was like Doing Business as the Grateful Dead. Surely that's got to be translated from somebody else.
Doing business what?
God, I'm doing a terrible job of paraphrasing what it was, but it's like business models, or learning like business models from the Grateful Dead.
Oh.
How to run a business based on on the lessons found in the Grateful Dead, or something like that. Yeah. And a lot of the Japanese books that you'll find are like, they won't just be translated from an original author. They will be like reading Grateful Dead's business theories written by blah 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 blah, and it'll be some Japanese synthesis.
Like kind of square.
Yeah, it's it's quite interesting. And then I wish I could actually like read those translated books into English, because I want to read all the commentary that whoever has taken it upon themselves to translate the book. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, cool. Timothy Leary, flow state. I'm sure. I wonder if, I don't know if the word was around. I think it's like, what did we find out when it was? It was like coined maybe in Timothy Leary might predate flow state. Doing the ghost dance with harmonica, dressed as an R2D hoodie on Halloween, feeling the flow. Doing the ghost dance. What is the ghost dance? Okay, with a harmonica, dressed as an R2D2 hoodie on Halloween. Okay,
so when he first said it, I was thinking, I feel like there's this Native American or like Navajo ceremony called the ghost dance, where they like hook these hooks into your chest and pick you up, you know. It's like, but and then he said they said R2D2 hoodie, and then I'm thinking maybe it's not the same thing. Or no, I'm thinking of Sundance. It's a Sundance ritual. It's a Navajo ritual. Okay. But it's like definitely flow, but through pain. Well,
R2D2 did join the Ewoks, and he did have like kind of, they did love him, right? Right.
I believe they did.
He was their king or whatever, right? They loved the C-3PO.
All right, Leary versus Kesey, psychedelic ideal war. Riding the bull, feeling the flow.
What's the riding the bull? That's the what was the bull? Where am I missing the bull reference?
Kevin Nealon, isn't that like, he's old school Saturday Night Live?
Oh no, I definitely know Kevin Nealon. Love me some Kevin Nealon. But the bull got mentioned with Possum at the Moody Center. I feel like the bull has been mentioned.
Yeah, we might be missing something. Oh, golf flow, maybe. Yeah.
Golf flow is a thing. Yeah, they talk about that. I can be your valet going to Tokyo. Okay.
I'm going to be packing big, Matt. You best be working out over there, doing your curls for the girls.
Okay. I like your style. WP. That's witness protection. Okay. It's happy. It's a Happy Gilmore reference. Oh, okay.
We know nothing. I know nothing.
Happy Gilmore is great.
I know Adam Sandler, like, you know.
Oh, riding the bull, feeling the flow. That's Kevin Nealon from Happy Gilmore. Got it. Okay. Finally, I'm
glad you get it. You're all right.
Okay. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. Yeah. Okay.
More or did we do it?
I feel like I did. Oh, I should have had those credentials. I feel like an imposter. I don't know my Happy Gilmore reference.
That's okay. Between that and King Giz, it's nice to have things to grow into.
Some humility. Right? Okay. Yeah. That's good.
All right. Okay. Should I continue?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right.
Do you have it up? All right.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Similar work was being done around the country and around the world to help in treating an array of issues, from PTSD to ADHD to concussions and more. Sports scientists were starting to explore the use of brainwave training to enhance athletes' performance. So, Slomoff and Gordon reasoned, why couldn't this also do something for musicians? Slomoff reached out to Applebaum, who he'd been friends with since college and who had gone on to become a world-class neuroscientist at Duke, working on an array of elite performance projects with everyone from surgeons to the military to all-time great athletes. Now at UCSD, Applebaum was stoked to dive in with them, but also skeptical. Quote, it was like, how could you do it? He says, is there a signal that can really be recorded from this, or is there just too much noise? Is it kind of a hopeless endeavor?
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Do you remember Luna's friend? Do you remember Luna's neuroscientist, brain surgeon friend, from whom we got the very best stuff?
No, but I remember the anesthesiologist counterculture guy. Remember him? He was kind of dry and weird, and like he was like one of like the two Coke Blues, but he was like
oh goodness,
like later to life anesthesiologist. No, I do not remember a neuroscientist.
All of those parties that we had up at Dan's place, I think.
Oh,
that was like Family Dog, old school San Francisco brain surgeon, like Family Dog I don't know. I
When
think
they
that
used to put the mushrooms in the Mountain Sun beer.
I think that they were like really they were like wanted to dose the entire like world. I think they were like from that train of thought, and yet they were like neurosurgeons and like brilliant geniuses.
Yeah,
These
I
guys.
mean that tracks.
Okay. Keep going here. Slomov reached out to is that the one? Is
No,
that
while there's
okay.
a clear
Okay.
parallel.
While there's a clear parallel between flow in athletes and musicians, identifying flow in the latter is much harder. Sports have scores, statistics, data that can quantify an athlete in flow. In music, Applebaum says, when you're talking about flow and that kind of peak performance, it isn't quite so obvious or objective what peak performance is. Over the years, the team evolved. In came John Cohn, a 25-year IBM veteran and electronics engineer trained by MIT who helped develop tech for the project. Adam Horowitz, hey, Ad Rock in the house.
Yeah, buddy.
An MIT grad who studies dreams. Kaya Sargent, a current UCLA neuroscience PhD student, who's also a classically trained cellist, pianist, and singer. Technologist Sean Montgomery, developer of the EmoteBit company. Did we mention him earlier? He was okay, which produces a device that measures an array of physiological phenomena: heart rate, temperature, galvanic skin
is
response.
that the ring thing? EmoteBit?
Possibly. Accelerometer, gyroscope, etc. Okay, you take it over, Suzanne.
Suzanne Dicker. I just a heads up, I'm gonna unplug my earphones because my phone is losing its juice. I apologize for the diminished quality, but
it's only slightly. It's still sounds pretty good.
That's good. Sorry about that, guys. Suzanne Dicker, a neuroscientist at NYU, became one of Applebaum's key collaborators. A few years ago, she worked on something similar with Bad Bunny. Woo! Hyperscanning.
Wait, what's Bad Bunny? Sorry, I know. What is Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny is this Puerto Rican rapper, musician guy who dated Kendall Jenner. He's like a real sassy hot pants.
I've been out of the country too long. Okay, I'm listening. Keep going.
Very handsome and slick and kind of interesting. He doesn't take no shit like a good Puerto Rican. Okay. With Bad Bunny, hyperscanning, in which she conducted some lab experiments that analyzed Bad Bunny's brain waves as he collaborated with Puerto Rican rapper and singer Residente, discovering that when people share a musical experience, they also mirror each other's brainwave activity.
Ooh.
That when you're in it, everybody's in it.
Whoa, that's pretty interesting.
All of this has been pretty informal, Gordon and Slomov, just connecting with these folks as needed, paying them consulting fees, piecing things together as they go. Much is done remotely. The required tech gets shipped to Gordon and Slomov in Vermont. They set up for sessions. The scientists joined by Zoom.
As part of this, they needed a way for the performers themselves to confirm they were flowing. They started by having Gordon wink it. But that's the
yeah, you're out, you feel flow state. Hey.
Okay, but that seemed too conscious a signal to allow Gordon to stay in flow. Yes, I would think so. Does thinking about it, wondering, analyzing, am I in a state of flow or not? Does that very action of observing take away the flow state? Gordon says. Yes. Yeah, it's like you do really have to let go of that. But I can say that, like, I do have this conscious, like lucid dreaming. I have a technique for falling asleep where I'm hyper aware of myself as I go to sleep, and I can say to myself, am I asleep yet or am I not asleep yet? I think I'm asleep. And then I try to move my arms and I'm like, oh, look at me, I'm asleep now. Oh, I'm hovering between sleep and consciousness, and like, oh, I'm like riding the clutch on the hill. Here I am. I'm not quite on the and it's like gone. But I can get there.
For that, or you just like have been sort of consciously crafting like sleep like
did I say that again? I didn't quite catch it. Did I come up with that myself, or did I read that somewhere? Is that the question?
No, like, have you just been practicing it a long time, or do you do like a guided meditation? Because I listen to this sleep meditation guy and I'll find myself in that same state at some point in the meditation before I really conk out?
No, it's something I like accidentally stumbled into, like I just like discovered by myself like a long time ago, and I remembered it. That was like the one thing I like remembered it, and then I was like, I wonder if I could do that again, and then I did it again, and I was like, oh, I can do it every time, and then that's all it was really.
Interesting.
I can't do it every time, but I can kind of like, it depends on how, if Jeff Lewis has this great line, one of my favorite, like anti-punk, anti-folk guys from New York. He says, I don't fall asleep, I ascend to it. I don't fall asleep, I ascend to it. It's a great lyric, but I definitely don't. I tend to crash. I tend to like try to stay up until the very last minute. I try not to, and then poof, I'm like gone. Like I can't. I'm just like always like hanging on to lucidness until it's just like poof, it's gone. I never like go to sleep, which is like I think not good for you. But if I try to go to sleep, if I consciously mean like I have to go to sleep, I have to go to sleep. Like let's go to sleep. When I make that conscious decision to go to sleep, I cannot get there rather easily. But I appreciate this notion of like, oh, am I in a state of flow? Look at me. Are my fingers doing, I'm hovering. Oh my God. Like, am I doing, and then as soon as you're kind of like become aware of it, you can imagine this in like having a sort of psychedelic experience where you're like, oh, there it all is. And then I can see it all. I can see it all makes sense. And then like, as soon as you like articulate it, it just, it vanishes.
Yeah.
And you're like, ah, damn it. It was there. And I'm like, what was it? Like, I don't know, but I swear I fucking saw it. Like, what was that?
Well, he goes on to say, hence the foot pedal. You want to read from there?
Okay, sure. Hence the foot pedal. It seemed to work best. And word got around to other artists. One day in 2021, when Gordon was in LA, Applebaum drove up from San Diego to help him have a Zen Box training session at Grammy-winning producer Sean Everett's basement studio with no such thing, the legendary beatsmaker. Gordon's words, who worked with Kendrick Lamar, Chance the Rapper, and more. Volunteering as his test subject, No Such strapped into the headset, fitted with 27 electrodes, and jammed with Gordon. When you record electrical activity in the brain, you see rhythms, says Sargent, the only scientist involved who also has extensive musical training and performing experience. Like how you have different pitches that form a chord and different chords progressions that somehow mean something, says Sargent. And it seems like something similar is happening in the brain when different rhythms and frequencies interact. That makes meaning out of nothing. There's such a beautiful overlap. Wow, that's pretty interesting. I wonder if like a C chord or a G chord or a sus, I wonder if like a different.
Oh, what happened to Brian? Is he frozen for you guys? He's a wheel of death.
Chord will
I hear little bits. I think he's talking about resonant chords. He could be up there and I'm just talking over him and I don't see him. But it's reminding me of spirographs. And remember that little thing when from the 80s you put your pencil in and have a little different kind of plastic thing and it would make these different patterns and right. Oh, and he's gone. I'm just gonna keep reading until he comes back. It all creates something, Gordon has come to feel, as a waking dream state. My goal in music, he says, is to bridge the gap between being awake and being in a dream. Am I awake or am I asleep? That's how Weir got involved. He and Gordon, as in Bob Weir, Grateful Dead, he and Gordon have known each other for years and performed together on occasion. But then Gordon says, I read an article where he said that dreams have informed all of his creativity, from his music to writing a book to writing an opera. And me too. Dreams have been central in my life. When Gordon told Weir what he was working on, Weir's curiosity took hold too, and soon Weir was joining some of the remote Zoom sessions. Then he arranged for the big April 2023 test in San Rafael. Gordon and Weir made their way through various Dead songs, doing some radical harmonizing while playing He's Gone. Like I told you, what I said, steal your face right off your head. It went on for some 3 hours. Afterward, Weir told Gordon, we were in the dream together. Oh, that feels kind of emotional, let's be honest. The Weir sessions were an energizing experience for everyone, and they've kept plugging away at this in the 2 years since. It's had its ups and downs. Neuroscience now is about where chemistry was in the late 1800s, says Sargent. I think we picked a very difficult challenge. So far, the building of a usable Zen box is slow going and probably will be for a while. There are matters of technological limitations, scheduling logistics, real world life interfering with the dream. We're pretty far away, Gordon says. The problem is it's requiring a lot of electrodes to get it to work, and we want to make it more streamlined. We're trying to do it in a simpler way. He sees two main obstacles: trying to do the brainwave detection in a simpler way, and really, it's just trying to match up our schedules for the people involved. One day this spring, Slomoff and Gordon went to work in the studio again, with Applebaum and Dicker conferring in via Zoom. Gordon strapped on his sensors and got to playing. Slomoff watched the feedback come through the monitors using software called uQuantified, an open source platform that's free to anyone with the proper equipment. That's fascinating. Dicker and her team at NYU developed it based in part on algorithms developed through the ZenBox research. It has Gordon's brainwave and physiological data on display in real time for Slomoff to follow as Gordon plays. That is really, really interesting. I think when we hear the word algorithm, maybe we think about like our Facebook algorithm or something like that. But how neat would it be if like social media algorithms were based on the uQuantified open source platform algorithms that come from ZenBox data? Oh, wow. Brian, I hope you come back soon. Watching carefully, Slomoff observes Gordon's brainwaves start moving towards flow state signature levels. He turns the knob. This starts what he calls the effect, a chorusing pattern, excuse me, that blends gently into Gordon's music, a subtle signal that he's starting to get closer to flow. Closer I am to flow. Just kidding. All right. This is a ZenBox concept performed manually by Slomoff as he observes Gordon's data. The idea is to build a device that uses algorithms and tech to do for the wearer what Slomoff is doing now. Okay, so it's not automated yet, is kind of what I'm getting. The effect is at 25%. Something starts to take hold. Gordon says nothing, just keeps playing, but the data indicates something shifting now, getting closer to flow state signatures. Slomoff turns the knob again, 50%. A moment later, 60. He takes care not to push too hard, too soon, only wanting to accentuate but not dominate with the effect, and it's working well. Moments later, he's at 70%. There's a spike. It's in there, Slomoff says, and it's getting deeper. Now 80%. There he goes. Gordon's all the way gone now. Slomoff, having helped him onto that bridge between here and there, the music playing itself, Gordon back in the dream. Interesting. There's so many things I'm thinking about that I'm just sort of sad we lost Brian, and it's a one-way convo. I don't have access to the comments, which is unfortunate. So for you friends out there still listening,
check. Sorry, Anne. I caught the last paragraph. I heard you reading it. My just shit the bed. It just like everything went haywire. I was really bummed that it was turned into a one-way thing. Tell me, recap it for me, Anne. What happens in the end?
So there's this open platform software that this woman, Suzanne Dicker, and her NYU team has been developing that is based out of the research from the Zen box. And then so that's really interesting. And then
So you can use it like anybody can use it?
you have to just have the right equipment to activate it. But yeah, it's called You Quantified. So that could be interesting. You could put some electrodes on when you're riding your sidecar about.
Whoa, that's kind of a crazy idea.
But then it goes on to say that like Slomoff is like, sending this frequency back to Mike as he's playing to tell Mike in a subtle sort of tonal way that his data is changing, and this sort of he's tracking the data. Slomoff turns the knob again, 50%, a moment later 60, blah blah blah. It's the second to last paragraph. It reminded me of I'm sure you saw The Princess Bride when they're the life out of him. I am now sucking another year off your life, and they turn it really far at some point because Wesley loves Princess Buttercup and blah blah blah. So yeah, it sounds like this technology is not like, it's still kind of analog in how you measure and respond to it. It's not in like an automated, you're getting into the flow state, you're Mike Gordon, boop boop beep, and like it's responding automatically. You have to have other users giving you the feedback, like sort of auditorily. So I don't though. Imagine like all of our, like Facebook algorithms were built on flow state rather than advertising. Like it's just
my God.
Like how cool
that's interesting.
Yeah, like if you're in it, you sort of get other in it things, but that's like part of the whole human in a body. I think Mike was saying that like it's a lot of electrodes. It looks not invasive, but probably somewhat annoying and like not that easy to necessarily like put on and set up or whatever. And also people are all over the place. So how do you schedule your time with all these scientists to do this research is the other shortcoming that I am reading.
Well, once it's like figured out, or once they can deduce some like practical uses for it, like what you just described, like some sort of feedback that's different than advertising, some sort of, then I guess you have like a fucking chip inside your brain or something. I'm not totally sure. It's a little terrifying, but it just is like it just works.
Well, it's, what's kind of cool. Have you heard of EMDR? Do you know about this therapy? Again, hemispheric crossing thing. It's a therapy developed around easing the manifestations of post-traumatic stress disorder. And you put buzzers in your hands and you'll be talking to the psychologist, and the buzzers are buzzing left hand, right hand, right hand, while you're sort of talk therapizing whatever the traumatic experience is. That is supposed to kind of get the brain off of its sort of circuitous hype and sort of trauma. It's kind of interesting. I did that at one point. I got mildly assaulted by a student one year when I worked in Denver. And I took some time off from school and I went to the psychologist, and we used to do EMDR therapy. Kind of interesting because I was scared to go back.
Did it work?
I mean, I ended up going back to school. So yeah, it sort of eased the like anxiety from, having been assaulted. Basically, it was not very pleasant. I Tai Chi.
I have a funny, well, it's funny. I say it's funny. It's like it had a mild, very mild. It's almost not noteworthy, and I kind of tell it as it's a funny story. But I did have I'll just say traumatic experience where I got like, I was like, I couldn't go back to doing my life the way that it was after it happened because I was just so like freaked out by the whole thing. And Yeah, I've never had any kind of like I've never tried to like fix it or like really look into it other than just kind of laugh at it like it was silly. But
Try
yeah,
EMDR
I can imagine.
with it.
Yeah, I'll give it a try maybe. I need to try. I should. I mean, as soon as you said that, like just getting yourself breaking the cycle, is kind of probably all that needs to happen. I just probably like need to, I don't know what they call it, but like reframe it somehow.
Well,
And yeah, I could,
we're sort of prone to perseveration. We get caught in this kind of like loop, like the game loop. And
mm,
I was actually talking to a friend of mine who's a PA just a couple of days ago, and she said the brain, like, it's like when you're sledding on fresh snow and you put the sled down and you go down the hill, when you get back up again, you're going to go in that groove because it's already made and it's fast and it gets faster every time, right? The brain wants to like find the shortcut or the fastest way. And you can, like, this kind of therapy or what we're talking about, like kind of resetting the loop, means you take the sled of your thought and get out of that rut when you get back to the top of the hill, and you have
mm.
to chart a new course, is really like what the metaphor suggests.
Yeah, I mean, I think about like, I saw I saw the Phish do something off Ziggy Stardust. They did like one of the things they did a cappella, and one of the things that they did was
Maybe.
I forgot what it was, but it was just a barbershop quartet thing where like one of them has to go high and one of them has to go low. And I can see myself like not being able to do that the same way that I might not be able to get my left hand to do the thing that I can't get them to do two different things or whatever until I just like unlearn whatever it is that
Yeah.
they've do. Right. And,
Like, I can't do live long and prosper with my right hand.
yeah, well, I think there has to be an interesting application for music in that, like, I'm sure that I mean, I don't see Phish struggling with this, to be honest, at all, but probably they have to work really hard at it. But like, you'd be so tempted to like play the same licks, or this, not tempted, but just like out
Right.
of like,
Caught in that sometimes, you'll hear him playing that same riff or whatever. Not to interrupt you, but I just read an article recently about Victor Wooten, bass player,
yeah,
who
he's amazing.
there's some like neurological stuff, and he's losing like use of some of his like right hand, like the bass fingers, and so
Bummer.
or maybe it's the chording fingers, but he's having to like not relearn bass, but like find new approach. And it was really interesting because the article suggested like it's actually really interesting to him, and he's like, wow man, I'm like learning all this new stuff on bass because of this limitation, having to pick the sled up and put it somewhere else and kind of go differently, like what your brain knows theoretically when your body um is already in its patterns might be, like sad to try and break, but he seems like he's in a very curious place about it. And float
Mike or
definitely,
Victor Wooten.
I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. He would be the perfect guy to face that challenge probably successfully because he's just such a free musical thinker. I admire how he's just like, there are no, I like his approach to music and I just his mind. But I think like Mike has it too. Mike is probably this whole, exploration of the brain is probably very well suited for, I'm lucky that we have a Mike Gordon in Phish that is like, this is this is like one of the reasons that we like this band is because they have, not just a heady, it's not just like a intelligentsia sort of thing. It's like and it's not even like a trippy, get your brain out there kind of thing. It's like pushing the limit of psychology and psyche and, consciousness. And I don't even know, like, I can really see how, like, I mean, just like a single, like one outcome, just like one, maybe it's a stupid one, but like you're playing a thing and like you get a little, your brain tells itself to go somewhere else, or it triggers a release of something that says you're in a state of flow, or I don't know, just like you can leverage it in some way that doesn't make it any less of a mystery, because he's always talking about it's all about this togetherness and it's this one thing and you can't deny it. It's like he's not into like demystifying it, but he's into like, taking it to the next thing, which the band's they're always doing that at every turn. So yeah, thank you, Mike, for
Yeah.
and he's using his own money. Good grief. I mean, that's what a noble, noble, I'm not sure, but like what a interesting, you could buy cars and houses and whatever you could do, but like to put it towards some kind of like genuine, interesting musical study is pretty freaking cool.
Well, remember we were talking about that book Musicology a couple sessions ago. It was no, what's his name? We were talking about like music psychology. I forgot the guys. I just closed my computer, so I'm done with searching, but
yeah, like we're searching for like where music goes. We want to know like where we predict it can go. Was that the topic?
Yeah, or was something about like music in the brain, or sort of, yeah, what is your brain doing on music? Whether it's like kind
this
of
is your brain. This is your brain on music. That's what they're doing, actually.
like Buddhist chanting to find the sort of meditative state and go into that theta brain state. All of that is so interesting. And yeah, I'm with you. It's really neat that Mike is not just like, I'm a rock star with all these Nikes, but like me and my Nikes go to neuroscience camp with like these epic, brain psychologist people.
And he's probably, I can't imagine he's not an articulate person, but he's like, surely he's going like, I want to see if we can measure the like flow state. And like, the fact that they're like humoring him, like seriously, and not that he should, it's a very legitimate questions he's raising and interests he has. But I think like if, it would be, I don't know, it seems like it'd be easily dismissible, perhaps, if it weren't him, if it weren't him, like, if you don't, I'm not doing it for money, I'm not doing it for, I'm interested in doing it.
Guy. And he comes from artist family, right? His mom makes his like wild art at some point before somebody gave her tens of thousands of dollars for her art. And this is really any artist. You do it because you're curious and fascinated. You have a vision and you work at it. You get into that state to create whatever it is you're creating. Is your family home from dance?
Yeah, it's time for me to wrap it up.
Brian,
I know. I'm sorry to like, it's kind of went off the rails there at the end. Sorry about that. But
do you have any other comments?
Yeah, let's read some comments. Let's Witness Protection. I want to thank you again, Witness Protection, for being here. When I was teased for epilepsy, the doctors played repeated strobe lights with a headset that's sound dampening. That's sound dampening. It was the most relaxing thing ever. Okay, well there you go. It's like, yeah, there's got all the ways you can stimulate the brain. With art, with music.
God! Turns out I'm having a seizure the entire time.
Oh, I didn't read that. Okay, but he says it was the most relaxing thing ever. Huh. Is it like an anti-seizure? Is it like hold on, is it? I can explain some of this, but it'd take too much typing. Energy is contagious. Is at the core of my thoughts on the subject of sharing flow state. Energy is contagious. I think so too. Yeah, definitely.
A lot of this, and I kind of started here, makes me think about being in the classroom and sort of like being the teacher of young people, right? And like if I'm teaching in a philosophical perspective that is based on community, then we all get there together. And that usually happens like second semester, after we've got our rituals and our routines. The kids know what to expect. The stuff gets harder. It gets more playful. We start doing community stuff, and then everybody's learning starts going like exploding about like 5 months into school, because it's fun and because we're all together in it. And that's kind of like what Matt's saying about like this collective energy. But it's also I mean, God, it'd be so cool to like put on like the flow state helmet in my classroom and like the lights flicker when my brain starts going off, because that's like what I'm after as a feeling in the classroom. Like I know it's going really well when I'm like, I don't know what happened, but I feel really good about it.
Yeah, I
And
know the feeling. Yeah.
on the street, to kind of go back to one of the things we were talking about at the beginning of our conversation, you were saying like, I don't know what happened, I just like feel free and I'm out on the street. And I feel like that's how it was at Dots. We were often in the flow state, like people come, they go, there's these different kind of frequencies, something's familiar, it's not.
For sure.
John Fishman's in the diner, shit's going off. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, you'd like, there'd be those tickets, right? And or you'd have like, you're all this organism to like, yeah, get these people food, right? And like there's this, you need 12 things that all need to come together in a certain way, and like everybody has the focus of the thing.
Yeah.
And they all don't have to ask each other anything. It's just like this program that you run, and the whole thing just like works. And it's like, but there's nonverbal communication, and then like the movement, how small that place was, and how you navigated around people.
Oh yes.
Like, right. And there was like the coffee thing, and under the thing, and then the thing, and when it was flowing, it was like
coming by. Yeah.
Right. It's amazing.
What a dance.
It was really beautiful. Yeah.
Wow. That's like in the show, you don't know if you're dancing the music or the music is dancing you.
That's nice.
I quite enjoy.
I don't know if we're gonna get to all of these guys, but because I gotta bounce here. The crew's here, and I'm getting the side eye, and it's time to bounce. But yes, I did freeze.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Nice, Anne. Arigato gozaimasu. Very good. So thank you for reading there. I'm gonna have to go back and read the end of this essay myself. And let's stay in touch. We'll get our
more on this, friends. Check out Gregory Bateson, Piaget, Piaget, as well as this guy Vygotsky. These are all guys from the 70s. And then one of my professors, Sam Gill, he wrote on play theory as well. So
play theory was the takeaway, the big one that you recommend. Play theory.
No, the book is called
Free
Play.
Okay.
Steven Nakamanovich, and just amazing.
Okay, guys. Ninja Cat Matt, thanks for being here. Victor Wooten, sorry, I couldn't keep up with it. It's a little bit tricky. Witness Protection, thanks for being here, and sorry to have just kind of fallen off here at the end. And the technical difficulties kind of like took me out of my flow state with you, Anne. Really
happen. These things happen, right?
It happens, right? Michael Warren Michael Warren's working on some music. He sent me some amazing music this morning. Racer Records was in the house, and Grateful Dogs was in the house. We really kind of appreciate everybody hanging out, and yeah, it's just fun. And I'm just so happy to hang out with you. And yeah, sorry to we'll carve out the late night when everybody goes to sleep, and I have the whole room, have the whole house to myself is a better thing. But thank you for staying up late tonight. I know it's late in Boulder, and we'll figure out the time. And
with kids next week, and I go back to music on Mondays, and I've got park yoga coming up on Thursdays, so we'll find our flow state. We'll make it happen.
Okay. It was a fun article, and it was a fun conversation as always. So yeah, give my best to all the Colorado people. Gayute. Okay, I'll see you next time, man. Lots of love.
Love ya.
All right, bye now. Bye everybody. Thanks for tuning in.